Yo, here early. That's surprising, brother. I don't know if it somehow registered. I was attempting to try to make it do horizontal orientation, but we have vertical, as we are. As we are. Welcome to the beautiful sacred valleys. Westwood Plateau. Yeah, I actually just recorded an interesting video. Basically, if you have seen on my channel, I did great spot, facts. Great day, brother. Great spot, great day. I've been trying to flip it to horizontal. Like I was trying to, I wonder if I can do that live. So, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Flip, create highlight, green screen, lighting. Yeah, I was trying to make it horizontal orientation, but to make it sideways. But this is cool. We'll just play around with this for now. Maybe we'll turn off the screen, flip it back on, or the stream, do it horizontal. But I basically recorded some video just a moment ago, basically talking about some interesting stuff. Basically, I was with my partner last night, randomly just going on a talk as I do, about dopamine. You know, delayed gratification, instant gratification is something that I covered when I was chilling playing piano the other day. And I really liked the point of discussion. So I basically went on this interesting little talk the other day. Or the other day, but about just a moment ago, whilst chilling in a tree. So I recorded a long format video while chilling in the tree. So I think what my quest is now, as I'm wandering around Westwood, is to kind of play around with capturing different, wow, look at these clouds though. I could just talk about these clouds all day long. Yeah. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by community guidelines. What a good reminder, YouTube. YouTube reminding us to guard our privacy. What a powerful, powerful truth. I mean, you'd think, we as human beings, you'd think that we, you know, by default, would just respect each other's privacy. You know, we feel like we would have a congruent awareness of what it means to respect each other's privacy, you'd think. I mean, obviously, this is a public domain. We're on a live stream. And, you know, I remember, it's like, yeah, it's a weird parallel, I think, being a streamer. Or I see it as like a high honor. I love connecting with the public domain. I love, you know, putting music out there, connecting with human beings all over the world. It's a phenomenal experience. I feel very blessed by it. And I feel like, you know, my intention is a very powerful intention. I desire to community build and to grow and expand as a creator. But I think it's bizarre, you know, in some rights when I reflect on it, how there's a lot of people, you know, men, women, particularly I would say women, I could say, that probably don't feel, you know, they don't feel safe. Maybe they don't feel comfortable for good reason, just simply desiring to be a creator. You know, it's like they have to take lots of extra steps, sadly, to have their privacy honored, or to have their, just to have their basic human decency honored. And I think that's unfortunate. It's a bizarre parallel. It's c'est la vie. So here we are. I'm in the forest right here. I got my drum. Yeah, the weather is, we got the sun flowing through. Wow, and the mountains, brothers and sisters. It's so clear right now. Yeah. Magical. I really enjoy these mountains here. It's a beautiful day though. It's very clear. It's warm. Very quiet in Westwood right now, as per usual. Let's angle ourselves perfectly. I swear at some point I might just reset the stream so I can try to do it on a horizontal. because there's such a beautiful aesthetic. I got my tripod here. It's doing some like videography stuff just a moment ago. Got this giant ass tripod. It looks like also just like a giant sort of metal stick. It's great though. It's great for capturing all sorts of creative angles. Like that's the thing with tripods that rocks is like you're here with me here, right? But we could be like, you know what? Let's just flip into a creative angle. Like I'm like, hey, let's just create a beautiful angle for the stream. And all I gotta do is basically, you know, unscrew this guy, do a few of these, do some flips of the screen. And then I can, whoa. Great spot, the clouds, that dark spawn here, so it's gonna rain. So over here, there's a sign, it's gonna be very cold, windy nights. Oh, word. But anyway, I can like pop you on to my tripod, just kind of spin it like this. Yeah, and then suddenly we're mounted in a very nice angle. So you can get this nice floating angle. Where it's like suddenly videography is a thing. You know, we can engage in trippy videography-esque stuff as I do. Doesn't have a lot of use on a live, but it's nice. It's nice to know we can achieve some cool angles. You know, we can get some more natural angles and lighting with the power of tripods. Can you give me a good song name? Data Fox. A good song name. I mean, depends what you're looking for, brother. I mean, if you're talking about electronic music, like dope electronic music, or you're talking about like, you know, acoustic style, finger style guitar, or are you talking about like alternative rock or punk rock or psychedelic rock? I mean, I think of so many different music styles and songs. If you say song name, depends what you're into, brother. Start playing fast. Damn. I think homie's asking for, you know, achievements. I think this sits in your lane, go fast. I'm almost certain, brother, not to stereotype you like you've tried to do here. It's like, new achievement unlocked. Congratulations. Big, beautiful gold, you know, banner. It says new achievement unlocked. Go fast. 30-minute ban. Congratulations, brother. I'm happy for you, brother. 30 minutes. 30 minutes. You've achieved it. No more comment rights. I'm so happy for you, brother. Congratulations. This is a proud moment. It's a proud moment for Go Fast. Everyone, you know, W's for Go Fast. He's lost comment rights. He's really done it. He's achieved something spectacular. We're all celebrating with you, Go Fast. We know you can't comment because you've lost those rights, but I'm happy for you, Doug. So here we are on our tripod. The Canadian metalhead violently headbanging approval. Yo, I love that, brother. I'm a metalhead at heart, punk rock, alternative rocker. That's what got me into this guitar game. So I'm happy to hear that, dog. I'm happy to hear that. Like we love metal. We love rock. We love all that shit. Happy to say, you know, I have this beautiful new Ibanez at home that I've been rocking. I mean, we still got a long ways to go to really like honor that Ibanez. You know, get some Tim Henson-esque music styling down, but you know, we love rocking out and shredding. You know, shredding and just doing those, you know, those big ones and zeros and palm mute riffs. That shit just gives us life. All right, so we're gonna pop us back on here. This is a little bit more coherence of a experience for the viewer. Let's put this back on the guitar. Yeah, magic. Man, I was doing this thing last night. I don't know why, but I've been saying at random I'm probably going to, there we go. Nice. But I was doing this thing where, everyone says I look like Heath Ledger or I look like Bon Jovi or Daniel Weber, Axl Rose or whatever, which high praise, shout out Heath Ledger, rest in peace. And shout out all those others friends. But the idea is that I thought to myself, I was, you know what, I'm just going to do, which I said, I'm going to do some accents in the future, just get really good at doing like a voice acting impression, of like Heath Ledger and, I don't know, Daniel Weber and all these other dope actors and musicians. And it was funny, for some reason, I was going off in this like, I don't know, this like meme mode where I was just kind of like doing an interaction. Like it was like I was doing some weird kind of like comedy skit interaction. I don't know why. I was just high on dopamine. And I just deadass was doing this interaction where it's like Heath Ledger is just sitting there, he's like, how's it going? I'm Heath Ledger. It's good to see you, Broove. And then it's like, which is a terrible impression, but I basically was like, what if Heath Ledger enters the room? And then Bon Jovi's like, oh no, what's going on? And just his American accent, and Bon Jovi, he's the guy, he sees Heath, and then suddenly there's this interaction where I'm just going in and out of character of all these different characters that I look like. So I think I'm gonna do that. I'm basically gonna do a comedy sketch. That's all the characters that I look like. And I'll just like go full in character. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be really great. Jimmy Crack Corn. Bruv. Doesn't that song suck? If you're thinking of the same song, that's like a, like a folk kid song or something. But thank you for the request. I appreciate your music taste. Also, still not a cover artist, but thank you so much for your requests. Not a cover artist. Hasn't changed since yesterday. If you're new to this channel, welcome. But if you're a reoccurring, thank you so much for your sincere requests. But I'm not a cover artist. Still not. No life, no epiphany, lifestyle change to become a cover artist. And stop doing originals and improv. Not just no new epiphanies to suddenly change my life direction and become a cover artist. But thank you so much for the awesome music requests. We appreciate that, actually. I'm gonna find a place to place some stuff and actually play some music, because this is a music channel, after all. This weather's trippy though. One moment it's like really beautiful, then the other second it's like, kind of frosty. Yo, thank you, brother. I appreciate that. I like my vibe too. I'm just literally doing nothing. Like, my vibe consists of me just speaking, playing music, and saying philosophical truths. Like, this is Cold Hard Facts. If you're new to this channel, welcome. But a thing I like to do here is I like to, authentically communicate. And sometimes that comes down to if people are going to be, I don't know, trolls or dickheads or whatever, I'm going to authentically communicate. Communicate them out the door, but like, ban their comments or just send them on their way. But, we like to promote or advocate people just expressing themselves authentically. Now, you're a professional in my field. And also, what's good, Teatro? Welcome, brother. I'm going backwards in the comment section. Can you give me a good song name? So honestly, to the homie asking about the good song names, yeah, brother, I would say immediately my brain goes to, if you listen to really dope electronic music, listen to Skysia. I've recommended this in streams in the past, but Skya, Skysia. Pretty much everything Skysia makes, super dope. It's like underground, like melodic, I don't even describe it, very beautiful electronic music. And also Atya, Atyya. That's if you want to listen to some super dope electronic music. If you want to listen to like beautiful silky guitar music, I recommend Alexander Misko, Treasured Box. And I also recommend Andy McKee, Rylin. Andy McKee, Rylin. That's one of my favorite songs, actually. Also Andy McKee, Art of Motion. Andy McKee, Nakagawa-san. Andy McKee, Ebon Coast. If you're into like, missed my key shift there, but yeah. If you're into like really good acoustic guitar music, like very melodic, very beautiful, I would say Andy McKee, yeah, Nakagawa-san, Ebon Coast, Art of Motion, magical songs, beautiful music, very silky, very melodic. Also, Istas Ton, if you're familiar, he's like a dope fingerstyle. He calls himself like a gypsy style guitar player. He's world renowned. He's like a very chill, almost like spiritual guitar player guy. Istas Ton, very phenomenal artist. If you want to listen to some really good guitar music. But if you want to listen to like bands and metal and music, I mean, that's up to you, brother. There's lots of good bands and rock and alternative rock that I would highly recommend. Yeah. You're a professional in your field. That's, wow. I think I am, I guess. I'm not really in any field. But we are in YouTube land. Nice. Nice, nice. That's a cool hat. I love it. Let's go. Thank you, Stefan. Nice. I love this guy especially, Matt, the homie. He's just like, shut up, poser. I love that, bro. That speaks to my soul on a soul level. You know why? Because as an 11, 12-year-old who was like shredding guitar, 11, 12 years old, trying to figure out my place in the world, listening to music all day long, always been, man, I just want to be a rock star, a guitar player. It was always like, that was my thought. 11, 12 years old, learning the guitar. I deadass identified so much with that. I was like, bro, man, I don't like posers. I don't like posers. I was 11, 12 years old, wearing flannels, thinking to myself like, what the fuck is a poser? I don't like posers. Posers, I don't like that shit. Am I a poser? I'm like 11, 12 years old, playing guitar for like 2-3 years, and now fast forward, I'm 31. I've been a devoted musician most of my life. And I can confidently say, I figured it out, friends. I'm not a poser. And I appreciate your concern, Matt, for sharing your truth. Even though you're being a weird dickhead about it, I hope you figure out where you sit in your life about being a poser or not, or whatever that means to you, brother. But I figured it out, trust. It took me about 16 years of being a musician to be like, you know what? I think I'm actually an authentic musician. So thank you for trying to figure out on live, in real time with us today, what it means to be a poser in your eyes, Matt. Because clearly you're the professional here. You're the musician. You're the real deal, Matt. You really are, brother. But yeah, congratulations. Take those 10 minutes and reflect on why you have such strong opinions that are so strong. Anyways, welcome to this live stream, friends. Thank you. You're a star, bro. I don't know if I need this this love bombing gaslighting. Well, not even gaslighting, love bombing, but thank you, brother. I appreciate the compliment. I say those words with utmost comedic flair. But yeah, you're a star too, friend. You're a star too. Nah, but deadass, like, to people like Matt, he's projecting that someone's a poser, or that he's airing out his insecurities about, maybe he thinks he's a poser. If you're still here, Matt, thank you for being here, brother. But I just want to say very abruptly is, to those of you like Matt, that are just gonna share your truth, you're gonna just air your insecurities in real time on a YouTube live stream, because that's what authentic people do, right, Matt? I'm just gonna let you know, brother, you're not here for the right reasons. You're probably not my target audience, and you'll be swiftly removed from this channel permanently. And it is what it is, brother. We invite, I'd say, emotionally intelligent, devoted musicians, free thinkers, philosophers, people that have exercised a little bit of self-awareness. And maybe that's you, Matt, I don't know, but we'll never figure out. We'll never figure that out, will we? Yes, I'm a poser. Make fun of posers. Yes, sometimes making fun of posers, its own reward. I love how you ruffled your feathers are. That's so beautiful. I'm glad you perceive that, brother. I'm glad you perceive that. Thank you for also, full circle, revealing your inability to properly discern, probably your own shit. Like, thank you for airing again. You're doing the same thing as Matt. You're killing it, brother, generals. Clearly, you yourself are really struggling. You're struggling, brother, with what it means to be an authentic person. So much you can't successfully discern a person from another person. So that sucks. I feel for you, General. So, yeah, thank you for, again, doing the same thing. You're airing out in real time your own insecurities, your own inability to discern people's character. And that sucks. Sucks to be you, brother, but hey, each to his own. So thank you for sharing, General. I'm happy you're here, bro. You're gonna figure it out, bro. I have confidence in you. You'll figure it out one day or another. But until then, you know, keep on trying. You should be standing on a picnic screaming emo lyrics. Yikes. That sounds like a bad idea, General. To General Malaise TV. You know, I really like roasting you, General. Like, I really do. You're not, I see right through you, brother. Like, you are so easy to see through. But that being said, I'm gonna give you this 30 minutes to just think about, you know, why you're airing out so much insecurity, why you're coming across like such a butthurt, you know, projector of your truth. And yeah, with that, I invite you to leave, brother, because trust, again, this is a live stream, brother. You may have thought that this was your, you know, your soapbox that you're standing on and, you know, giving your truth. You're giving your truth about whatever the fuck you're talking about. But the reality is this is a YouTube live stream. So take a seat, take a sit, brother. You know, think about why you've shown up like the way you are, and I don't know. If not, I invite you to leave. Click that little exit button on your live stream. You know, we don't have time or energy or space for people that are not aligned with this audience. You know, go find your AI brain rot slop that you so heavily seek. You know, you're in the wrong place if you're here, General. Like, you're clearly, you need your AI brain rot slop streamers. You know, you don't seek, yeah, you're not seeking something beyond that, and that's okay, brother. You do you. You do you. We don't judge. Yeah, but in all honesty, it's cool, brother. He just wants to project his own insecurities, or he just wants to be funny. General wants to be a funny guy. That's cool, brother. I get you. I listen to Eminem. I like comedic rap. I like Matt Rife. I like to laugh too, brother. But if you're gonna try to, you know, say some unoriginal projection nonsense about people being posers and making fun of emo people and stand on picnic tables, which that's a weird picture, brother. I don't know what's going on in your head. I suggest get some more original material. You know, if you're gonna try to roast somebody on a comedy stream or whatever you're trying to do, at least get some original content, brother. Do better. You got this. I believe in you. I believe in you. Anyways, back to the regular programming. So we're in this beautiful forest. This is the move today. We're just roving, rambling with the drum in the woods. You got me, bro. You got me. What am I looking at? Just join the stream. Welcome, dog. We're just in a stream. See, we are in a forest on a stream. We got a beautiful stream. Yes, sir. Cold hard facts. Yeah, but now bringing it back to planet Earth. Thank you for coming here, friends. Basically, this is my YouTube channel. I teach guitar, I do meditative sound journeys, and yeah, I live in a very foresty spot. I like to teach people about dopamine mechanics, you know, teach people about creative expression, this and the other. Create a community, a safe space that really just is trying to offer a authentic presence, you know, for this YouTube space. Because let's be honest here, let's just straighten that out. YouTube is a wilderness, and this is just a reflection of where we're at in the real world. But YouTube is a baffling wilderness of people that seem to just operate out a very inauthentic place. This is just the weird place we're in 2026. Welcome 2026. And yeah, you know, for those that do not align with the core intentions of this channel, you know, desire to, I don't know, just project negativity or nonsense and just fail to effectively communicate or regulate themselves, I swiftly invite you to exit this channel. This is not for you, friend. Again, kind of jesting, poking fun, but go find your AI brain rot slop nonsense that you probably seek so deeply, and you can just find your way elsewise, brother. What am I looking at? Yeah, but thank you. Thanks for coming here, brother. And thank you, Kim. We're just trying to. Wow. I don't even know what to say to some of these. Like, not even bad comments. They're just hilarious. So, no thank you to that. Just trying to filter the section. Yes, seems Canadian. Is it real? I mean, it's a Canadian thing, because you're correct, friend. I am Canadian. Every part of my dialect is very Canadian. Born and raised, I love Canada. I'm looking at a Canadian forest as we speak. But no, this is also a YouTube live streamer thing, right? It's a nice little thing. I'm being like, nobody has to stay here. And hell, even to be transparent with you guys, right? We're on YouTube. You're using your phone right now. I'm on my phone, right? A huge part of what I advocate on this channel is I desire people to practice self-awareness and exercise how to develop a healthy relationship with this device, with this technology. And that's actually a strange kind of parallel. Is, for one, if people don't align with this channel, they're like, oh man, what's going on here? Like, this doesn't resonate. I swiftly desire for people to go and find whatever the fuck it is you do seek. That's cool, brother. Like, it's like I'm here to create a community of like-minded humans, and this is just the way it is. But even further, again, if you're in a place where you're operating out of a compulsive narrative, you're dysregulated, your nervous system is going bonkers, and you don't have a good connection to the present reality, you probably should put down your phone. You should probably, like, right now, just like exit the stream, turn off your phone, go do some meditation, go touch some grass, pick up a guitar. Like, that's the kind of thing I like to invite, is like, some of these like bedroom keyboard warrior, bedroom musician types, respectfully, it's like, if you're arguing or trying to project nonsense to other musicians on the internet, in my eyes, you're not a real musician. Like, with respectfully said, is like, real musicians, like musicians that actually have achieved something in life, they don't go around and project negativity or be like, hey bro, blah, 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 to other musicians. They just don't. Like, I'm telling you, from a guy that's, 17 years in this journey, is like, true developed musicians don't waste their time trying to project or, negatively box people. Other musicians, you could be a guitarist that's picked up the guitar for like 1-2 years, and you're trying to figure it out, and you may objectively suck, but you still have my respect. Like, I commend the fuck out of any musician that is on their path. So I find it hilarious, like, genuinely hilarious, when I meet musicians, the rare, like, we're talking like 1-2% of the people that pop on these streams that are like, blah, 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 like there's some sort of elitist, or they're projecting negativity, music, one musician to another. To me, that says to me very clearly, they're not a very developed musician. They're probably maybe 3 or 4 or 5 years in, and they're really butthurt about their own progress. And yeah, they probably just need to turn off their phone and pick up their guitar. Like, it's like, anyways, food for thought, universal truth. Put down your phone, pick up your guitar. It's kind of an ironic thing that I'm on my phone, growing a YouTube business naturally with my guitar right here. So let's get a nice angle here. But I hope that makes sense. It looks like there we are. Let's like properly acclimate this little thing. Yeah, it looks like my mount is kind of slipping. There we go. That seems more, yeah, that I like. Oh. Huh. This is an interesting position. And I don't typically do the classical guitar sort of style hold, but Gotta love it. Wow, looks like my mount is really messed up right now. Or it just constantly wants to just do this weird little, little dip. Anyways, back to this. Sate man. Nice. Nice. Hippie. What's going on, Ocean? Appreciate you, brother. I'm good. Honestly, life's been pretty dope, I must say. Whoa. I think I'm going to disconnect my phone from this beautiful mount here and connect it to my... Oh, 1 second, friends. Connect it to my tripod here. It's just really not doing the trick. Just... Whoa. Nice. Okay, success. Yeah, magic. I'm good, brother. I appreciate you, Ocean. It's good to see you, friend. Hope things have been well on your end. Yeah. Yeah, we've kind of just chosen an unorthodox decision today. I was like, you know what? We're just going to go to the forest immediately. I've been working on some videography today, recorded some interesting long format videos relating to talking about dopamine and almost like evolutionary imperatives, talking about, what was it? Like the primal, connecting to the primal, the usual sort of stuff that's on my mind. But I made some long format videos about it. And I'm really proud. For those of you new to this channel, welcome. I've been making some long format content, basically talking about training, about learning to train the somatic body, that is the nervous system. For those of you that are not familiar, I'm also an athlete. I train quite actively. I'm strength training athletes, calisthenic athlete, etc., etc. But yeah, it's beautiful stuff. I'm really happy to make these very high quality videos. Very engaging videos that I'm really proud to make. So that's been kind of what's on my mind, is just recording some content in the forest. Decided to go live as we are. Am I in Sherwood? No, sir. Not in Sherwood. Thank you. Can we move on now? I'm assuming that's a song. Nice. Seems my hands are getting cold. You did shrooms this morning there. Wow, very nice. Long live waffles maple syrup. Wow. Waffles, honestly, bro, I had a phase where I just was so enamored with waffles. Like enamored, I mean I was actually dating this really dope, very hilarious chick who was obsessed with waffles. Like she literally was so in love with waffles, it made me enamored with waffles. And existence is beautiful. We were kind of memeing around, having fun, but yeah, there's so much beauty. There's so much beauty to focus and let ourselves really focus our energy into. I wish I had shrooms microdosing against trauma. Yeah. I'm sure you could find it. I'm sure you could find shrooms, friend. I mean, I'm fortunate in British Columbia, magic mushrooms are legal. This is actually, I was laughing about this and also happy about it, where there's a dispensary. It's a magic mushroom dispensary that sells LSD, sells peyote, San Pedro, high quality mushrooms of every sort, every strain. Sells DMT, 5-MeO DMT. Also, whatever that stuff's called. What's that stuff called? Kratom, which I don't recommend kratom. Just big thumbs down for kratom. But yeah, this dispensary sells vials of LSD. So that made me really happy. I don't know how behind I am, but okay, we're here. We're about caught up. Nice. Unsubscribe from negative musicians. Wow, Matt, facts. That's the thing is I I love to be really transparent here in a, the way it's like you'll never know what's going to happen. Like, genuinely, I like to keep it real where if a person pops up and they're going to be like, blah, 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 and say some negative, unhinged nonsense, I'm going to say whatever the fuck. Like, I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to penetrate whatever's going on in their narrative with authenticity. It's almost like a win-win. As a live streamer, as we just kind of witnessed or whatever, I enjoy poking holes in people's narratives. I like to approach with comedy, sometimes with just genuine, penetrating authenticity. Being like, okay, so what's beneath what's going on here? Which is weird because I'll be perfectly honest here. Is a lot of people, sadly, a lot of people, if they're coming to a place and projecting negativity on the internet, they're insecure as shit. And it's okay, like, no shame here. We're all insecure to some degree. But I found it very funny how, like, we had people popping on the stream, the couple random odd outliers that were saying some stuff, being funny, being like hilarious comedians. Even though their comedy, honestly, was dog shit. Like, if that was comedy, I think they gotta go back to the drawing board. But it's like they're projecting insecurities. Like, you can be certain that people talking musicians or people throwing salt at other, I don't know, music genres or whatever they're trying to do. These people are actually literally just revealing like a genuine, sincere level of insecurity. Like, that's it. Bottom line, it's like you can be certain that a person sitting there, especially on the internet, like, this isn't the same in the real world. If a person comes up to you in the real world and they're going like blah 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 blah, they're just projecting some negative nonsense, that person is cruelly, they're going through it. They're dealing with some true insecurities. But if they're doing something on a live stream, like behind a text on a screen, like, that person is they're just, I don't know, they're revealing how insecure they are about blah 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 that they're projecting. And it's weird. This is not even like rocket science. It's like people will project insecurities all day long. It says nothing about what they're saying about you, about what they're, the larger context of how things are. It's just them. Again, it's like they're airing out their insecurities. They're here to be like, hey, public domain of YouTube land, I'm insecure about blah, 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 whatever they're, projecting. And that's okay. Again, we're all human beings. We're all imperfect. We all have insecurities. But that's where I'll often, either roast them or remove their comment rights to be like, hey, friend, it's not the place to negatively project your insecurities. This is a music channel. Like, I think you're lost. It's like, this is a place where we're trying to, talk about music or talk about what inspires us or play music and, maybe talk about things that connect to creative inspiration, And it's a weird thing. It's like, yeah. Yeah, welcome to 2026 YouTube wilderness. Like, we're on the path to creating a vision. We desire to create a community, a channel that's like a meditative, safe space, if you will, that revolves around devotee musicians that are really just, people that want to gather and find a similar sort of kindred energy as a musician, right? As musicians, as a creative expressionist, whatever. And I'm certain this is going to evolve and develop in that direction. Absolutely. But, it's the same sort of strife for the conquest as a new YouTuber that all of us, I'm sure, if you're a creator or desire to be a creator and you're on that quest, for one, I commend you. I commend you highly for penetrating the programming, being like, what, I want to create something of substance. I want to, evolve my relationship with my phone or something like that. I commend that intention. I really do. But on the deepest level, we're in a very unique time where it's like a lot of people, for whatever reason, in YouTube land, they just operate out of this very strange place. Like, I think very simply, YouTube has a sort of strange, compulsive narrative that's present. Like, there's a lot of people that are just here and they're lost. Like, it's like, if you look at this, I thought about this a long time ago when I was on LSD. If you look at modern social media, a lot of people are like lost in the wilderness. Like, and this is, relating deeply to our friends who are popping on here and projecting their insecurities. Is like, why is it this way? Like, why are we in modern 2026 that there's a lot of people who are just like wandering this internet wilderness, lost as can be, like lost in the forests, in the wilderness of internet wasteland, where they're just like, they don't know why they're here. They don't know why they're saying what they say. Like, they're confused, they're lost. They're just like compulsively, spouting out whatever comes to mind, and whatever comes to mind is some weird unhinged shit. And it's like, how have we got to this place? Like, why have we got to this place? Why is like, a lot of modern 2026, especially our younger generation, why are they wandering internet wasteland all confused, all unconscious, all compulsively? And for me, it inspires me and warrants me to be, you know what? I think the fact of the matter is simple, is our younger generation, our current generation, whatever, all of us, we're unconsciously wandering this, this non-stop doom-scrolling wasteland because we're actually trying to find something. We actually are. We have on some degree, maybe we're unconscious of it, maybe we are conscious of it, but we're seeking something. We actually are. Like, there's a reason why you're sitting there, not you maybe, if you're my audience, but, there's a reason why a lot of these lost people are doom scrolling or scrolling through this internet wasteland, is because there's an actual reason what they're seeking, something. They maybe don't even know what that is. Like, they're thinking, oh, maybe I need the next meme, or maybe I need the next internet trend, or maybe they want to find some sort of, semblance of connection, or connection to masculine energy or feminine energy, or whatever the fuck they think, is a model of that. But the reality is, people seek something. And unfortunately, they're probably never going to find it because they don't know what they're seeking. And I'll be honest, this is part of why, at least, why I recognized it. I was like, you know what? I desire to be a content creator because I see through the programming. I see it very clearly. I'm like, people, they desire something real. They desire something authentic. What do they desire? They desire an authentic model of something, an authentic embodiment of expression, of communication, of what it means to be a man, of what it means to be a human being, right? This is what we seek, whether we're conscious of this or not. And the more we're going through this internet wasteland, this wilderness, this brain rot, AI slop, unfortunately now, this wilderness, the more we're going to not find what we seek. The more we're going to constantly just endlessly scroll, lost in this wilderness, never truly finding what we seek. And it's unfortunate. It's harrowing, actually. It's addictive. This is where compulsivity or compulsive behavior is breeded. It's because we can never find what we actually seek. Anyways, food for thought. I'm just carrying a giant tripod because I was doing videography, and I'm on my way back into the inside world, because the inside world is beautiful, where you have a studio, you have Ableton, all the beautiful qualities of being inside a music studio. It's magic. For those of you that, if you're a musician and you are sort of on the edge if you should just invest in a music studio or get Ableton, it's a very infinite, valuable investment, energetically. This is a very inconvenient way to stream, I feel. But my mount is kind of a little bit cooked. Keyboard warriors are lovers. Nice. That's profound. That's a very profound statement. Keyboard warriors. Yeah, they're fixated. Keyboard warriors, again, they're just humans. They're just trying to communicate something. They're failing to communicate whatever they're trying to say. We can be certain about that. But on the other side, they're just humans. Hell, that's the funny thing, is keyboard warrior, just by definition, right? They are still one who desires to be a warrior, right? They want to stand for something. They desire to communicate something. You know, maybe it's ill-willed or they don't know how to do it, but they desire to do that. Let me at the next speaker. Every time I trip, I see a snake. Wow, DNA imagery. Apparently that's a common theme of tripping. Wow. So every time I trip, I see a snake and DNA imagery. What are you tripping on? I mean, I'm assuming psilocybin or LSD. Go for it. You gotta get it. 1.8k seconds. Wow, that's magical. I gotta say, achievement unlocked for the homie that just, lost their comment rights for 1.8k seconds. That's a magical number. A whole 1.8k seconds where they've lost comment rights. That's just, wow, what an achievement. Congratulations. Let's see, so G-Man, yeah. Magic. Maybe not seeking, but stalling, running away. Maybe one day it's up to Ryan. Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, Shaman, let me at the next. Yeah, we can talk about, yeah. I think, I'll be honest here, like in the simplest right, I think moderating rights is more than just, like, obviously, I think I appreciate everyone that's holding space for this community and desires to, help filter the comment section. I think Moonstar could do a good job in general, but I just want to say the caveat is I really want to ensure that those that are, desiring to be a moderator also are, just practicing self-awareness. Like, they're not trying to be too personal in this endeavor or trying, like, they're really allowing themselves to be objectively, objective, I guess, about that role. Greetings. We're just about caught up here. Did you say that I'm tripping right now? That I did not. Unless you're saying, I think someone else said they were on mushrooms right now. I was just reading their comment out loud, yeah. Let me see if I can equip. Let me see if I can equip, actually, for the sake of the aesthetic. I'm gonna re-equip my guitar mount. Because this feels awkward, just kind of shaking around the screen, walking around like I'm some sort of, I don't know, influencer. Influencers are great though, if they're influencing people to be fit or something. Wow, these birds are just so stoked on life right now. This is so beautiful. That's what we want to do. Exactly. Magic. All right. There we go. We can assume a natural angle now. Once again. Just gotta attach this. Society. There we go. I think that works. Still a little bit wonky on that, but That'll do. Yeah, carrying a drum among carrying all these other stuff, it's definitely making this an interesting experience. Boundicus. Afternoon Magic Man. Hello, Repeat. Welcome to this place. Welcome, friend. What is my best memory from 2015? Yeah. Let's see. So we're catching up to the comments. My best memory from 2015. I'm going to think about that one. That's a beautiful question, though, Alasser. 2015 was a really interesting time, I must say. 2015. Wow. Well, I know from 2011. 2011 was definitely a moment. Like, that was, a very pivotal time, I think. Wow, yeah, I gotta somehow fix this camera mount. It just doesn't want to do the thing. It just wants to be sideways. Yeah, you live in a beautiful neighborhood. Why, thank you. It's a very nice, safe neighborhood. I appreciate you being here, Amy. I appreciate you. What am I wearing? I'm just wearing literally everything that I wear every single day. This is my everyday attire. Genuinely, yeah. Genuinely, it's like, this is just what I wear. So, Clan have a song called Strange Land from the 80s TV series. Nice. So please play Ramen Hooded Man by Clan. That's cool, brother. I honestly I'm still not a cover artist. Don't know how to perform that song, but I appreciate the request there. You got fired. Damn. What did you get? Oh, that's my drum. What did you get fired from, Amy? Unfortunately, our stream's gonna be sideways for this short period before we get home, because it's just like my mount is just doing some weird stuff. But we're about a minute away from the inside world. That's beautiful, though. Like I was saying earlier on to the stream. Now let's kind of straighten that out. There we go. That kind of, like I was saying in the stream earlier, I actually was doing some videography. That's why I'm carrying this giant ass tripod. Oh, reconnecting, and we're live again. But very simply, I found myself talking about instant gratification and delayed gratification. Well, it really doesn't want to straighten out. That's crazy. And the nature of this topic, let's hold all this stuff. I really made a crazy executive decision to carry all this music equipment and camera gear. Oh well. But yeah, the idea is this video really was just talking about sort of the primal role, like the evolutionary role of dopamine, and how we experience it, say, on an instantly gratifying level, which I've spoken of before. Actually, one of my videos that performed fairly well was about instant gratification and delayed gratification when learning something like the guitar. And I went deeper in touching on this topic. And yeah, I really loved what flowed through. I think it's a very beautiful video. I'm very excited to edit and release this video. I'll probably do that today. But yes. Wow. This feels so profoundly awkward holding this, like I'm like holding the camera to keep it straight mounted on my guitar. I'm carrying all this gear. This is just top tier first world problems. First world problems 101. It's great. Having busted camera mounts and carrying too many things. This is, I swear though, this is such a common experience of a musician. Is I often, when I was younger, I would carry all my equipment with me always. So I'd always have an amp on me, a guitar, my pan flute naturally, alongside like a bag with all my stuff. And I would carry that with me everywhere. And holy shit, it really invited me to have a very strong back and shoulder muscles. Like, it was almost like, I feel like part of why I got into doing handstand push-ups and training like my back and my shoulder muscles a lot, was literally to just carry a guitar with me everywhere. True story. True story. That's part of the magic, I feel, is like once you learn to say train your body, it really just allows you to be equipped to say if you want to travel the world, you know, like I do. Or if you're, oh, there's my cat. She's just staring. But if you want to travel the world, you know, say you're like a backpacker or something, and you want to travel, naturally, you're going to want to have trained muscle groups. You want to train muscle groups that allow you to effectively carry your suitcases, your gear, you know, carry maybe your musician or your instruments wherever you go. Which is one of the many benefits of honoring your body, you know, strengthening your body so you can really just do human stuff effectively. Magic. Magic. As Australians would say. Exceptional. All right. Phenomenal. All right. Well, that was fun. That was fun. Happy to be back inside, and lol, he does get behind. You live in a beautiful neighborhood. Yes, I'm way behind. But now, fortunately, now that we're not juggling all this stuff, roaming through the forest with a busted camera mount, it's a lot easier to facilitate this. So I'm not probably to be a good mod. Just carry my jealous self. Some of my thoughts about this morning consist of an infinite plaything, a cosmic chew toy, like a dead dog curious in the universe, poking with a stick. Drink water by your daily water reminder, brought to you by Ocean. Nice. I'd love to learn bass guitar. Magical. Ah. No, I'm not sure how. Honestly, to address, yeah, I'm not sure how that happened. I thought you got fired, like in the real world in real time. Yeah, no, I never removed you as a moderator actually. Yeah, there was no given points where I consciously did that. So I'm not sure how exactly your moderator abilities got lost, but if you want them, there they go. You you're rehired. You're a hireable entity. You know, it's cold hard facts. But yes, so thank you for the Heath Ledger connection. We're honoring our homie Heath. Rest in peace, Heath Ledger. And much love to Heath. I say that to all the times, how handsome he's like Heath. Why? That's great, yeah. We love genetics Shout out genetics, I must say. That's so legendary, though. I love bass guitar too. Honestly, my dad has a bass guitar, and yeah, it's a nice bass. Bass is a cool experience. So here we are, drinking water. It was that. So some of my thoughts from this morning consist of feeling like an infinite plaything, a cosmic chew toy, like I'm a dead dog in the curious universe poking with a stick. Wow. Damn. That's a wild and I think very accurate reflection. So thank you for sharing, Mir. Yeah. Probably not be a good mod. I don't care. Honestly, to Moon, honestly, I think again, it's the only thing I would say is it's important to be a neutral entity as a mod. You know, not get too emotionally invested if people are saying X, Y, Z, this and that. I think you'd probably be a good moderator. Like truthfully, I'd say continue to stick around and I'll just like sit on that. But it's like the moderator thing, it's not necessarily like it's not even that big a deal. Obviously, there's no pressure, no expectation, like kind of extending off what Amy's saying. There's no expectation. Like you can be here frequently, you can be here like once a week. It really doesn't matter. Like I really do not put any pressure expectation. I do not, yeah, I do not desire putting pressure. I appreciate in any capacity someone to hold space for that. But yeah, I think it's like it's almost like a person just doing the abilities, but again, doing so in a objective, neutralistic sort of way. And I think you, honestly, to Moon, I think you have the ability to do that. Like I think, in truth, yeah. I also think I don't want to recruit too many moderators at once. You know, steadily kind of navigate those waters. Because also important is I'm technically a moderator. I'm the facilitator, where I'm working with my moderators to just like, effectively show how I desire to moderate these streams. A lot of it is very simple. It's just, sending those that do not resonate with the regulations of YouTube or the intentions of this channel, the core values, just sending them on their way respectfully. And I think it's good to just kind of set the pace and set the tone for that. Let's see, can I play My Heart Go On a recorder? Huh. Honestly, that's a good song, Your Heart Go On. I've actually played that song, you're talking about like the Titanic song. I play that on my pan flute pretty frequently. I think that's a really beautiful song, actually. It's got a very nice melody, yeah. I want to learn ukulele. I think you should do that. I think that's a phenomenal idea, Miss Amy. I like how ambitious you are, Ryan. Is it Ryan correct? Yeah, brother. This is Ryan, yeah. And I appreciate that. It's like, that's like a core held belief of mine, in life is we as humans should be like radically ambitious. Like I really mean in the deepest way is like, there's no reason why we as humans should not just kind of have that core belief that there's not a single thing we can achieve and just aim high. It's like Bruce Lee said is like, I guess aim, what is it? Yeah, basically the goal is not something to achieve, it's something to aim for. So it's like, as we achieve what we achieve in the process of trying to aim at whatever this higher vision is. But even the deepest right, when we understand something like, say, delayed gratification, like delayed gratification, I actually did a video about this, when I was chilling in the forest, recording, doing videography. Delayed gratification, in the simplest right, is basically giving yourself almost like a association with a intense, ambitious vision and understanding what it actually takes to achieve this. Like think about this, right? If you think about this in a very broad, clear-cut way, if your mind, which, hopefully it should, ideally, hopefully you guys can understand and resonate with this. If your mind actually sees, like say you're like, what, I'm going to learn a guitar. Like you pick up a guitar day one, you're like, what, let's learn guitar. If your mind actually realistically can process what it actually takes to achieve something long term, like, what, I want to master a guitar or maybe learn some sort of complex musical song. This is a strong example. Your brain, if it literally understands and it's operating out of delayed gratification, your brain is basically going to be like, okay, well, we understand what it's going to take to employ, your entire cognitive abilities, all the time, energy, what it's actually going to take to achieve, say learning some sort of complex guitar song, start to finish, basically you're going to have no time to operate out of instant gratification. You're going to have no time to operate out of neurological models that aren't actually translating into achieving the long-term goal. Like it's like if your brain is like so, smitten, it's so like tenaciously lit on fire. Like, oh word, I actually understand what it takes to achieve, some sort of ambitious long-term goal. Basically, you have no time to even like do anything but just radically act. Like it's your brain knows what it takes to achieve something long term, like to succeed per se. So your brain is just so incontestantly uh, involved in just doing. Like if it's like when you see how much effort and work it actually takes. I say work in quotations because obviously when it's coming from a place of joy and passion, it doesn't feel like work. Your brain doesn't have time to sort of like, you know, just like fuck around or try to like, split hairs. It's like your brain understands how much effort it actually takes to achieve something that's worth achieving. And it's like your brain operates out of delayed gratification where it's just so involved in the process of doing, and it realizes that this, to achieve what you desire to do, like your long-term vision, it's just going to take consistently showing up over years and years and years and years. So it's your mind doesn't get fixated on all these little parallels of how, when it's going to happen, or this and that, maybe like instant gratifying models. No, it just realizes that to actually achieve a truly worthwhile long-term vision, it takes a continuous non-stop effort. It takes, work. It takes effort that you're constantly applying. And for those that actually understand what that looks like in your life, like you're, oh, I've achieved something that is, worthy of achieving, say a long-term ambitious goal, you realize that's a never-ending thing. Like, you ambitiously, enthusiastically show up every day and you go, I'm just going to keep on grinding towards this long-term vision. And yeah, I'm just simply saying, it's like when your brain, it begins to like shift the way it perceives things, and again, aligning with a delayed gratification, dopamine release, your brain is basically constantly, it's constantly enthralled in acting. That is, taking action because it realizes, it sees the long-term, what's the word? The long-term reaping reward, or the reward you will reap, which takes just constant effort. I don't know. I botched that. I explain a lot better in the video, but in the simplest way, your brain, your mind, and your belief system changes when you begin to release dopamine from a delayed gratifying place. Delayed gratifying place versus instant gratifying. Yeah. What don't you like about the ukulele? Ukulele's great. Honestly, it's very silky. It's very simple and silky. Yeah. Has a very wonderful work ethic. Stream machine. Bam. Yeah. Yeah, I'll be honest, it's funny. Like, I have a pretty good work ethic, so to speak. That is, I'm like disciplined. I'm good at applying myself and just doing stuff. Like, I call it just discipline. But as for being a streamer, as for being a YouTuber, I'll be perfectly honest, I'm even more, I would say, even more passionately smitten. Like for me, this is like such a powerful vision. It's such a powerful intention. Like there's so much powerful intention infused in being a YouTuber that I always find like literally millions of reasons, millions of ways to infuse even more intention in showing up as a streamer and showing up as a YouTuber. It's beautiful. I mean, obviously, I'm still apt to burn out every once in a while. Still gotta set boundaries and honor myself. But I feel like there's so many beautiful, deep-rooted intentions of why and how I show up as a YouTuber that for me, it's like it's really easy to understand, the application of doing these streams, of growing this community, of creating high-quality content. Trying to pass on the torch and just show up. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. I'm hesitant to try mushrooms. I read that some people. Yeah, let's get through these right here. Bass guitar, double bass. They have such souls. Like that. That's great. That's. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I think who uses the word magic? I don't know. That's an Australian term, but I'm trying to remember what. It was like a musician, and just who was it? A musician or actor that was using, saying magic constantly as an Australian. I don't know. I know it's Australian slang, but yeah. For me, honestly, now I'm Canadian. Obviously, no one says magic, but I say it all the time. It's great. It's such a great term. It's just like just magic. I've eaten about 4 grams of psychedelic mushrooms, and this dude hands looks like they're coming through my phone screen. 4 grams, 4 grams. That's a very uh, powerful dose. That is indeed a very powerful dose. Yeah. As dry mushrooms and with dwarfs and hear voices. They say they amplifies the good in aspects. I mean, that's a good intuition, Alasser. I'd say that's a really good. Gotta adjust this hat. These hats of mine. Hats upon hats. Hats. Hats are just such an interesting experience in life. But yeah, I mean, I'd say, my opinion about mushrooms is sort of what I expressed the other day. One of my viewers, I'm trying to remember, what was her name? I was asking about mushrooms. Basically, I've had a lot of people ask me about mushrooms. I think, was it Moon that was also asking? I think through our Discord. But basically, the idea is that mushrooms, in a very simple term, right, they allow you to see the world without a filter. They let you see the world without a filter. They really let you, like, see the sort of collective shadow. You see your own shadow. It's like you're experiencing, and even on a neurological level, what it does on a neurological level is it's suppressing temporarily the amygdala activity, the fear based center, the fear region, which obviously amygdala does many things, but magic mushrooms on a quintessential level, on just a fundamental level, they suppress the amygdala activity. So that is, it allows you to temporarily perceive your brain activity without fear. You basically see things in a more fearless way, or from a perspective outside of fear, assuming you take a moderate dose. Now, the thing with shrooms that I think is very important to understand is they're also, I would say, they're more intense. They're less gentle, if you will, than most quintessential psychedelic or compound. It's almost like magic mushrooms have this tendency to not really sugarcoat your experience. It's not like they're filling you full of some other sort of neurochemical experience that makes everything feel euphoric. I mean, they can be euphoric, but the typical thing with magic mushrooms is they're almost trying to, again, make you experience reality without a filter. And the product of that is you see reality as it is. You see your reality. And a part of seeing reality as it is, reality without a filter, is if you go deep enough in the experience of magic mushrooms, this is at least my experience. Over the years, I've been using mushrooms on and off, frequently on, for about 16 years, right? I've really been enamored with the mushrooms. They're going to show you core truths. Like if you consistently use a medicine like magic mushrooms, and again, the core thing also that I expressed yesterday is magic mushrooms is an entity, if you will, or a technology that you have to actually form a relationship with. Like this is the core thing is you can think that magic mushrooms is just a mushroom, a compound, or like, okay, I take a dose, universally this happens, therefore this is what magic mushrooms are. No, they're more so something you actually need to develop a relationship with. But when you do successfully develop a relationship, I'll even be as far to say you should desire to develop a sacred relationship with these mushrooms, with this entity, with this technology. It's going to allow you to basically see the core truths in certain things, and actually more so, let's say, the core wounds in certain things. This is, again, at least in my experience, in my direct experience from sitting with magic mushrooms frequently, it gives you a very almost like painful, for lack of a better word, a painfully intimate experience of the core wounds of yourself, of the world around you, and again, of like the collective. You see the collective shadow, the collective wounds. Like you can basically piece together, and again, this isn't to say everyone's going to experience this. Surely, probably not on your first experience, but after years and years of using mushrooms, like the core thing I noticed is more and more, it gives you this almost, again, unfiltered experience of the collective shadow, of the collective wounds. Basically, like to be perfectly transparent, it's all the things that you might find yourself look away. Like your subconscious might be like filtering again, because it's when your mind processes things, you experience, the intense graphic nature of this world. Your natural response of your psyche is to filter certain things, maybe suppress certain things. You're like, wow, this world is really messed up, for lack of a better word. You see, the intense nature of what humans are. You might suppress certain things. Your mind might filter certain things for the betterment of your emotional experience, of your cognitive experience. But when you're on magic mushrooms, at least in my experiences, it allows you to see the world without a filter. Again, amygdala activity suppressed. Your mind has a more open, unfiltered perception of what's going on in yourself, the reality around you. And what that does is it allows you to actually connect the dots. And not from, again, this may be from a very intensive place. It may, at least initially, feel very difficult to process that. Understandably so. You look at the world, you're like, wow, you know what? The world is, in the simplest, unfiltered way, it's a little more fucked up than you might think. Like, you'd be like, wow. Like, people's this and that, this might seem like overwhelming to be like, wow, this world is not all sugar-coated sunshine and rainbows as our brain might want or desire to see it as. But the beauty of this is that's okay. The beauty, because you might understand if people, you might see this core pattern. I've seen this pattern that if you meet people, maybe some of you in this community are in this category. If you meet people that have sat with intense trauma, like they've integrated it, they've maybe gone on medicine journeys, sat with things like ayahuasca, or maybe they've sat with DMT or whatever is, their experiences ravel. Maybe they didn't do any of these things. You come to these core realizations that the illusion of, darkness and light, the way we try to dualize and polarize things, we're like, oh, but this is, humanity is this or that. And it's like, maybe it's like positive versus negative, experiences. We try to compartmentalize. We try to split off these things. Be like, but the good things in life and the bad things in life are these very separate entities, not really realizing that ultimately both serve tremendous, beautiful purpose. The way our mind tries to split off things, we be like, oh, but the positive, powerful, euphoric, ecstatic, warm, sort of almost like feminine, maybe dimensions of the human experience, we try to like put those on a pedestal and be like, oh, but that's what we desire. And then we look at like all the harrowing, turmoilic, maybe, sorrow-filled dimensions of the human experience. We try to also put that on a different sort of pedestal. We're like, oh, but this is good and this is bad objectively. But when you sit with things like a psychedelic, say a magic mushroom, you go deep maybe if you desire to go there one day, or you sit with some sort of medicine like ayahuasca or whatever it is you desire to, unpackage. The core pattern that a lot of people that exit these altered states from these, these medicine quests or these altered consciousness quests is that, yes, a lot of these things that we try to perceive as darkness, we try to split ourselves off and be like, oh, but this is good, this is bad. That's actually not necessarily the truth. There's actual extraordinary beauty in honoring the darkness of ourself, honoring the shadow. This is what shadow work is. Carl Jung's coined dimension is shadow work is honoring the shadow aspects of ourself that we've suppressed. And the bizarre thing is, when we suppress the shadow of ourself, we do so to society as well. All we see is the suppressed shadow, which obviously many of us, like in the society at large, are operating out of this place where we are, in fact, we are not honoring and understanding the true role of the darkness that we hold within ourselves, the shadow, which is just us. Like, we are our shadow. We are the darkness and the light. We are, the beautiful, just a beautiful, open-minded, open-hearted, light perceptions of who we are. But we are also the shadow. We are imperfect human beings, and it's like, I think psychedelia, when you begin to see the world without filters, it's an intense experience initially, but it also harbors and translates into immense amount of acceptance and love and perspective for yourself and your fellow human being, right? You can see, like, you look into the very core of yourself, your wounds or whatever, your traumas that have rooted and grown you into today, and you can see them for what they are. And then you can honor them, and then you can love them. Like, this is not something that requires a psychedelic, but this is shadow work. This is psychological healing. That personally, I've never been to therapy in my life. Like, I think I went like twice, and they told me, hey, you should get an ADHD medication. And I was like, hey, okay, let's try. And it didn't work for me. And then that was the extent of my therapeutic experience. But I'm saying is, like, yeah, there's a very powerful thing when you learn to integrate, that which you have maybe cast off from yourself. And in my experience, for myself and various people that I observe that engage in these psychedelic containers, it lets you just see your own, shadow, your own core wounds in a different light, where you're like, you know what? This is just a part of myself. I can look and honor these parts of myself without trying to split myself off, not trying to judge and demonize and split myself off from the part of you that is just you. Anyways, long ass tangent, if that makes sense, but for some reason, this is personally a part of how I perceive the role of something in magic mushrooms. It lets you see the world without a filter. It lets you see yourself without a filter. So you can learn to honor this part of yourself. So you can love this part of yourself. And in a lot of this world, society, for whatever reason, we filter. We split ourselves off from parts of ourselves. And it's difficult to return to this. It's difficult to honor this. As a musician, as an artist, this is a part of learning to do this, of expressing, tapping into these core parts of ourself. But yeah, invariably, it's a quest. It's sometimes a lifelong quest. You're standing though. How can you sit on that? It's cool, but I don't mind. Yeah. Well, honestly, I'd be happy. I think, without overthinking it, I'm definitely open to granting. Let's see, put in time on. That's not what I do. I'm definitely open to granting just moderate rights. Again, it's a very, in my mind, it's a low pressure, low expectation thing. I would just yeah. Honestly, I want to give my moons to the moderate moon. Heart will go on, super sad and beautiful. Again, to just to further articulate to Amy, it's like zero pressure, zero expectations, and then even extending to Moon, to Amy, to anyone. Again, if you feel free, there's no expectations, no pressure on being a moderator. Again, as I am here on the stream, as I'm always going to be here, I'm going to be the core facilitator, assisting you, we're co-creating this experience of moderating, working together, helping moderate the people. There's no pressure, no expectations. As I'm the channel owner, I'm obviously also going to be facilitating and moderating with you. So there's really no pressure. Any given little part of it that you're helping contribute to that, I deeply appreciate, and there's no pressure. Never feel pressure. It's this is not like a job. This is obviously it's a YouTube channel. Anyways, going back up to the comments section. Comments section. Yeah. So honestly, want to give us that. Yeah, Heart Go On. I'm going to play a little bit of the Heart Go On song. That song, I don't know why, I've had a few melodies stuck in my head indefinitely. And Titanic has definitely been one of them. So let's see how it goes. I gotta go a little bit more in key. Yeah, I love that key. I actually really love that key and everything to do with that song. There's so much beautiful songs or beautiful music inside of that key. If I were talking to me, it's not like this select ukulele was that. That's magic. Total. I'm now realizing how much I use magic, but I love it. I love it. I'm meant to, I don't know, embody Australian slang. As I meant to embody, UK English slang. I know you're loyal. She's a phenomenal gem. Honestly, I appreciated her holding space and her being authentic and present, transparent in this community. Like I remember like speaking with her on Discord, like I feel like she's on a really beautiful quest. And I commend you, Moon. Like you're doing great. Like I've said that once or twice, but I really feel like you're doing an excellent job showing up and desiring to just like, grow as a human being. And again, there's no timeline. There's no like right or wrong way to show up, to grow, heal, whatever feels right to you is the path, you know. Like just because my what looks like for me or someone else or any sort of, this is a weird misconception that I like to sort of I like to sort of shed light on is a lot of people, and again, this is just my experience. A lot of people have this weird idea in their head of what a spiritually healed person looks like or what it looks like to, you see people on a spiritual quest and maybe they dress a certain way or they talk a certain way or they're, I don't know, promoting certain community ideologies and you think, oh, that's spiritually healed or that's a spiritually healed person. I'll be honest, a lot of that is, it's an illusion. Most people, like if you think this is your quintessential definition of a spiritual healed person, that's probably a paradox. It is paradoxical in the nature of it, often. A lot of people you think, oh wow, that person's so spiritually healed because they're projecting that way and they're dressing this way and they're acting this way. That's actually probably more likely spiritual ego. Paradoxically, that is a person that's still trying to unpackage what it means to be spiritual. And what I'm simply saying is, it's good to not try to compare your spiritual journey to anyone else's spiritual journey. It's yours to be on. Whatever it looks like to you that feels good, that feels like it resonates and makes you feel empowered and enlivened and happier and just live, this human experience the way you desire to, then beautiful. Like that's the path. No person's, quest or comparison to a person's ideology of, oh, but you're spiritually healed or more spiritually healed than me. That's an illusion. That's a weird little mental gymnastic that some people play. And it is what it is, We're all on some sort of quest here. It's all good. Ryan's right. I will take it personally. The next person starts saying dishonor you on this something you can't. Honestly, yeah. Well, I'm slowly moving through these ranks or these comments. You've been granted moderator rights, Moon. Like, do with that what you desire. Again, zero pressure, zero expectation. You definitely, I advocate and believe in your abilities to discern. Like, just remove comment sections that's distasteful or just hateful people of etc. That's, the core primary thing. If in the future, for whatever reason, that power dynamic comes into play that I feel like, that just doesn't resonate with, with yourself, then of course you can just remove the moderator rights, whatever. It's no big deal. Again, this isn't like a real dynamic. This is a YouTube channel. It's not like it's a real job. There's no pressure. There's no expectation. This is a YouTube channel. Nothing serious. Nothing really matters, right? It's like moderator rights, non-moderator. It's like we're just here to do things. Yes, Sashay, very true words. I had a patience. I am. You're Amy. You're doing great. You're a gem. The way you're showing up, at least from what I've perceived. Again, this is a YouTube channel, but from what I can like intuitively feel into how you're showing up, Amy, you're killing it. I love your energy. Meteors have stored water on the moon for reference. Wow. Nice. For reference. Wow. I have to be careful with mods. Seen them room channels and streams plenty. Yeah, they get power mad and way into it. Have one already? Don't think they were on right now. You have one already. Yeah. 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 Wow. So you have one already. Yeah. Nenzo. Yeah. Yeah. That's a that's a good perspective, Nenzel. I mean, again, I'm a new streamer. I've been streaming for like 6.5 months tops. That's like my lifelong career as a streamer. It's like 6.5 months. So I'm navigating these waters, and I do so intuitively with reverence. I I think yes, the way I typically navigate, this thing of moderators for like 5 months, I didn't have any moderators, respectively so. It's not because I didn't want moderators, and it's not because people didn't desire to be moderators, but I also was in the role where I was like, I'm still navigating what it means to be a facilitator, to successfully moderate and understand what that means. So for me, it's always been an internal quest of me being, what? I'm learning what this means to facilitate this space. So from when I really understand, like, okay, I've really got this down, then it's like I'm extending this intention onto those that want to be also moderate. But I agree with you so much, Nenzel. And trust, I appreciate your words, and I will continue with my own intuition. Keep those words in mind. Like, if people are exercising some sort of imbalanced dynamic, they're not understanding the role, the intention of this channel for whatever degree, then, objectively, respectfully so, it can remove moderator rights, and so be it. Like, no harm done. But I hear you. Like, I think in the simplest right, not personally interjecting this to anyone, it's yeah, it's like moderator. I think it's a thing that I like to vet. In the simplest right, I like to just be objective and be like, I want to know that the person's a part of this community and they align with the values to the deepest core and they understand, yeah, the role of it. And again, I like to make it very clear it's a zero pressure thing. We all are just chilling on YouTube. Like, we're not sitting here, we're not in corporate law, we're not in, suits corporate law land. We're not like all Harvey Specter and managing $1 million cases. We're not doing $1 million cases and, managing the Gluska briefs where there's high stakes and we're drinking rum, breaking mergers and, I don't know, manipulating each other with corporate law. Like, nothing serious. This is a YouTube live stream. I love that picture, though. I love Suits. Yeah, this is not Suits, though. This is not Suits, the television show. There's not high stakes. We're not managing corporate, law $1 million mergers. We're just chilling here on a YouTube live stream. There's zero stakes, zero, zero pressure. uh, hey, you show up like a real star. Hey, thank you, Miss or Kim Lando, Miss or Mister. Thank you, friend. I'm going to be the chillest mod. Honestly, you're magic. I'm glad. I wanna extend that warm welcome, or the avocation to say honestly, magic is a great word. Like, you say nothing. It's like saying awesome or rad or dope, but it's instead you're saying magic. Like, that's just, you just say it. It just rings off the tongue. Just magic. It's just, you're happy. You're just, that's magic. You're like, that's, I don't know. It means so many things. It means so many things. Yeah. Wait, what happened here? So okay, I see. I was looking at older comments. I gave Moon the moderation. Ocean, yes. The sauna on your cow. Wow. The sauna on your cow. Have you tried truffles, the mushroom? I don't think I've tried truffles. I've had people tell me all day long about it. When you have no fear, it is amazing. That's right, Kyle. Kyle's piano journey. I think everyone should have the shiz scared out of them. Yeah. Hey, like, dead facts. I mean, if you're here, I have lots of hats. I really am not surprised you have lots of hats. I would love to see some of your hats. Just, if you're going to rock hats, do your YouTube thing. Yeah. Slash Gunrose has the most famous hats in the world. I love Slash. I'm not even that familiar with Slash, but the fact that Slash is just so unapologetically, rocking his thing, just so dope. I think cows, yeah. I missed the joke about cows, but I'm going to the chillest mod. Your cow is safe. I think the cow is now an inside joke. Cow is too cute, so she has cows. I don't know what's going on here, but all I know is I love cows. Like, I'm honestly just like, let's just talk about cows more, because I honestly, I had this phase where I say honestly a lot. This is, you may have noticed this this thing I've laughed at a lot, but uh, I went to this film set once. I was doing a film set for verticals. I don't know if you guys remember. I talked about a thing called verticals. Very weird, very weird. They're like short movie dramas that they hire people like local actors to do the most outlandish, bizarre, bonkers acting. And basically, when I went to this one vertical, I was hired for this for a few days. And you go to this mansion in the middle of White Rock, so it's like a country land area. And every time I'd go to this vertical set, I would always be early. So what I'd do is I'd walk around White Rock, and I would walk to this one area that there was a bunch of cows. So the scene was like the scene in my mind, in my mental, movie. It's like I would walk, it'd be like early in the morning, and I would, be ready to go on my film set, and I would walk up to these cows, and I always see these cows, and I'd also see storks flying around. But I'd walk up to these cows, and we'd just hang out for like 15, 20 minutes. I'd usually have my guitar on me. I'd sit there, play guitar for these cows, and kind of just listen and watch these cows. Yeah, and just gotta say, that's a simple joy in life. I swear. Walking up to a field of cows and just hanging out with cows. Like they're so majestic. They'll walk up to you and just start mooing. And then like they'll even probably let you pet them if you want, but yeah, I gotta say, majestic. Majestic. Yeah. Interesting explanation for the mushroom trip. Thank you, brother. Yeah, it's again, that was a bit transparent, maybe even a bit of a deep dive. But in the simplest right, mushrooms, they should be treated with a sacred reverence. You should desire to create a relationship with them. Whatever that looks like, doesn't have to be right now. Could be in a year, could be many years. But the role of something like a mushroom, magic mushrooms, is a medicine that successfully allows you to see the world without a filter. You can see into the shadows of humanity, which you may do already to some degree. You're just like, you know what? Wow, there's the world, the collective shadow is a thing that we're all influenced by, and it's a reflection of our internal shadow. But when you're on a psychedelic, let's be real here, is it amplifies it. It's an amplifier. When you see the world without a filter, it's amplified, and you can't look away. And not only can you not look away, it's a looming, intense feeling that's overwhelming. And then this invites you to take action on that, whether this is changing your habits or reflecting and integrating this in your life, or maybe picking up a guitar and transmuting the energy of something. Like that's the core difference between when you're on a psychedelic or not, is you may understand to some degree, hopefully, if you're self-aware, you've exercised some self-awareness and you're like, wow, you know what, there's a lot going on in the world, and you look at your own maybe shadow and you begin shadow work, maybe if you're in a healthy psychological model and you look at the world, you're like, wow, the world's kind of messed up, the collective shadow is pretty bonkers. But when you're on a psychedelic, this is amplified. It's literally amplified. You're forced for this period of being on the psychedelic, usually, depending on, the trip or how much you've taken, you're forced to look at these things and you won't look away. Like you're going to be like, wow, like this world is nuts. And it's a felt experience. Like you feel it in your body, you feel it in your energy body, because everything's amplified. This is the same thing that happens when you do something like DMT, or you do something like magic mushrooms, or LSD even. LSD is a little bit more different, I would say. It's a little more euphoric and, classic psychedelic-y, but the reality is, yeah, when you're on a psychedelic, filters removed, everything's amplified, you look at the world in an amplified, unfiltered way, you're gonna learn. You're gonna learn things, whether you want to or not. And it's beautiful, because that's the thing, is when you get to learn, like even the simplest core right, I'm going off on a beautiful tangent, seeing the world in an unfiltered, amplified way, it actually it awakens discomfort, emotional discomfort, maybe psychological discomfort, probably both, maybe physical discomfort even, right? Probably. All of those things are important, because when people tell you discomfort is important, they're like, discomfort, go outside your comfort zone, discomfort's important. People are like, yeah, of course, sure, I'm gonna, I don't know, go to the gym and lift some weights. Good idea. Or maybe you're gonna, I don't know, do whatever you think is discomfort, right? There is few things that are far more uncomfortable than engaging in looking at the reality in an unfiltered way that's amplified via psychedelia. Like when you're sitting there, you cannot run away from this unfiltered, amplified reality. Like you're looking at it and you're like, wow, this is uncomfortable. That is a true, true dimension of discomfort. You know, surfacing the the wounds, the collective shadows, that is very uncomfortable, but is very, very healthy, very important to sit with. So, anyways, food for thought. I don't know. I could talk about that stuff forever, but you know, it is what it is. All I'm simply saying is, magic mushrooms, they're great. You know, don't force yourself. Don't force the process. Develop an organic relationship. You know, with yourself, with the medicine, with medicine as a whole. But if you do eventually find yourself, but you know what, we're going to go on a quest and develop this relationship further and experience this container, it can really, it can really do some beautiful things. Because as I've spoken once or twice, you know, my recent video kind of emulated this, talking about cold plunges and strength training, whatever. There is beautiful things. Like this is a invariable fact about life. There is beautiful things on the other side of discomfort, on the other side of fear, which is obviously just an illusion. Like there is invariably beautiful things on the other side of discomfort. Discomfort, which is just an emanation of fear often, is an illusion. Like you think, oh, discomfort, or more of the, not discomfort is an illusion, but the idea that discomfort is something we should run away from, that we need to suppress or act like it's not something we can tolerate and deal with. Like we are human beings. We're human beings. We're ancient primal beings. Our ancestors dealt with a profound amount of discomfort. You know, there's no greater illusion than us as modern beings being like, oh, well, we got to run away from discomfort. We got to live in comfort. We got to live in our little comfortable bubbles where everything's okay and everything, never do discomfort, never push ourselves, etc., etc. It is a profound delusion to act like discomfort is something that we should just run away from at all costs. Obviously, you don't want to live in discomfort. Obviously, you don't want to live in turmoil or dismay or etc., etc. But there's a primal, ancient application that is present within discomfort. You know, your ancestors, our ancestors, they knew this. Like not just our ancestors from 100 years ago, but thousands and thousands of years ago. Like our ancient tribal ancestors, they knew. They were like, discomfort. Like let's go into the wilderness and, you know, hunt the animal and get the rewards of this and go through the shamanic trial of becoming a full-fledged, fully developed human being. Yes, discomfort. You know, the elements of the weather, it's discomfort. Like look at us overcoming the trials of the natural world. This is discomfort. And then here we are on the other side of this. It's like we as a modern species have sort of become desensitized to the actual role of discomfort, but it's never been something to fear. And this is like a bizarre sort of thing that things like magic mushrooms, not the only way, but they're going to show us that. They're like, why are we running away from discomfort like it's something to be feared? It's like, it is a powerful transmuter. It's a catalyst. Discomfort is supposed to be a catalyst. Anyways, I'm just riffing. Oh, wow. I'm just casually dying over here. Just waterboarding myself. Light is only as bright as the darkness that surrounds it. It's so true. I mean, I can get esoteric and philosophical about that all day long, but it's true. Like in a poetic way, it does require, we require darkness to appreciate the light. Like this is not just a diffractory sort of, you know, metaphor about light and darkness in the elemental sense. It's true. Like our capacity to experience light has to be contrasted by our capacity to appreciate and experience darkness. These aren't just poetic philosophical metaphors. These are truths. Like this is an invariable truth. If you cannot appreciate and embrace the darkness, the dualistic, polarized aspects of the human experience, you cannot actually also be open to experience the beauty that's within the light. It's like we need both. Integrate your shadow. Don't try to eliminate it. Yeah. And just, all this is just like shadow work, you know? Wonderful, beautiful, harrowing shadow work. I mean, I don't know. I don't know about you, but When COVID popped along, that's when I discovered what shadow work was. That's when I was studying it arduously, doing tons of mushrooms, and figuring out what shadow work was for the first time in my life. And I'll be honest, it's really difficult. It's not fun. It's not fun. But on the other side of pulling those threads, of honoring those things, some of those beautiful, uh, freeing, ecstatic, powerful experiences will occur once you do go on that quest to integrate the shadow. Hi, dude. Good to be back. What's good, Ned? Welcome, dog. Maybe we have a water tangent. A water tangent. Water tangents. Interesting. Welcome, chat. Don't forget to like. Nice. Yeah. I think we're gonna take a step outside and play some pan flute solos in the light. Because it's such a beautiful day. Honestly, it feels bonkers sitting inside, just kind of pretending like it's not a extremely beautiful day right now. Wow. Burn some of these ritual incense. Dream yoga. Look at this obscure sort of angle. It's gotta be, there's gonna be a way to find the right place to place this. Yeah, maybe. This kind of, sort of. So we got this dream yoga book here. Got some ritual incense. Gotta find the way, though. Gotta find the way to balance this. Maybe with the book. The book will maybe do this. Sort of. Ah, phones. Phones. Shadow work is hard, but it's so necessary. Well, that's the thing, is it's in the most simple way to express this is, what is really more difficult? Facing your shadow, facing your wounds, or living a life that is controlled and manipulated by your wounds, where you're manipulatable, right? Where you're not truly in control of your life. You're living a life that you don't desire to live. You don't have autonomy. You don't see through the illusions of your wounds and the projections of your own negative projections. Like, what is more uncomfortable, simply? There's something to be said about, like, when the discomfort of staying where you are is more uncomfortable than the discomfort, or the thought of the discomfort of changing, of evolving. That is when we are in a very powerful place. But think about that. Like, if you're in a place where the discomfort of just living in your wound is somehow so tolerable, is less comfortable than the fear of moving forward into the discomfort that may be. Like, it's like you basically have to realize that it's a good thing, it's a beautiful thing to embrace and engage in discomfort that is present. Like, if you're feeling tremendous amounts of discomfort, like, I can't move on. Like, you're like, I can't stay this way. You can't live in the negative shadow projections of reality anymore. It's just so uncomfortable to be where you are versus the fear of what discomfort you might face in the future. That's a beautiful place to be. That is where you want to be. And it's a harrowing thought for some. They're just like, but I'm so uncomfortable. Well, this is your invitation to move into the unknown. And I'll be honest, if you learn anything from what the quantum teaches us, let's get my tripod to make this. When you learn anything about what the quantum, like Joe Dispenza's work, about metaphysics and what is beyond the known and the unknown, there's nothing to fear in unknown. Like, this is what quantum theory and quantum philosophy literally teaches. There's nothing to fear. Nothing to fear in the unknown. It's an illusion. Like, we think, but there's so much fear in changing and the unknown and what's beyond the known. No. The fear is rooted from you thinking that you understand at a fundamental level what is present here in the known. Thinking you understand your relationship with the known. That is where the fear is coming from. And you think, but there's so much to fear in the unknown. There's not. There actually isn't. Truthfully, like on the deepest philosophical level, it's an illusion to believe that there's so much to fear in the unknown, in the thing that you're trying to resist, in the change of what is beyond your known conception. That's the most powerful delusion that a lot of people hold on to, is they're like, there's so much to fear in the unknown, and embracing the unknown, where you don't have control over everything. But again, that's a fundamental delusion. Where is this tripod? Where is this tripod? Yeah. It'll reveal itself in time. The tripod will reveal itself. I don't know. We'll just use an amp. But I hope that makes sense, right? I mean, it's not even that complex. And the simplest right is like, this is so comfortable. Wow. Yeah. It's like Joe Dispenza, his work of expressing the nature of what the unknown is. It's the unknown. The unknown. The 99.999% repeated of the non-material that is manifest, which is the quantum, which is the unknown. Like, even if we remove all these metaphysical concepts and ideologies, it's like you step outside into the universe. The universe. What is the universe? The universe is the unknown. The universe is the web, the greater construct, the cosmos, the cosmic web that is operating out of the non-material. The universe doesn't operate out of the material world. Like, this material world is a 0.0001% of what is. It doesn't. The universe operates out of a larger construct of unknowns that is materializing as we, the creators, are directing our energy into it. So basically what I'm saying is, if you desire to align yourself with the universe, which is aligning with manifestation, which is aligning with your ability to create, you have to enter the unknown. It's the same reason if you go to a random beach at a random time, or a random dance floor on a random moment, at the spur of the moment, you're like, you know what, for no reason other than nothing, I'm going to enter the universe. That is the unknown. Like, in the simplest right, it's not even complex. You desire to enter the unknown, you have to enter unknown portals. You have to enter a place without any common conception of why, right? You're just like, you know what, I'm going to go to a random ass park, or I'm going to go to this gym, or this new facility, or maybe this random country. You're entering the construct of the unknown. You don't even know why. You're like, why? Why should I do this? Well, who knows? You're now in the universe. You're in the unknown. You're in the larger construct of how the quantum is now manifesting things. And that's where you want to be. And that's what's on the other side of the known. We try to hold on out of fear to controlling this tiny fraction of what we think is, which is the known, where on the other side, where there's nothing to fear, is the unknown. Ultimately, like, it's where everything is actually unraveling and influencing everything you're doing, is the unknown. And a lot of us, we fear. We think we need to control everything. We need to know everything we must know. But in reality, there's so much beauty in surrendering and finding your ability to thrive in the unknown waters of that which is in the universe, the unknown. The places where you don't know why you went there, you don't know who you're going to see, you don't know what's going to happen. You just don't know, because you've entered this, and that's where you want to be. That's where the most powerful manifestation portals occur. And that's what Joe Dispenza is trying to say. Shadow work is hard, necessary, integrate to flow. Yeah. I love thinking about these things. Yeah. Yeah, welcome. I know I'm behind as fuck on the chat. That's just been the nature of it today. But thank you. I appreciate again I appreciate you showing up, Moon. And I appreciate you again, like I just sort of said like a moment ago or a few moments back. You've been really doing well showing up, just trying to be open minded in any capacity. Like that itself is commendable. Like I really say this all the time to people in the real world, of course, but I emulate this and extend this to here. It's like it literally the most important thing you can do is show up. It doesn't necessarily matter how you show up. It doesn't matter if you show up and you're super stressed or you're feeling like you're having the worst day of your life or the best day of your life, or maybe you're somewhere in between. The most important thing is to show up. Now, this is more so talking about the real world, of course, but it's about showing up for yourself. Whether you're showing up on a dance floor or going to a gym, or maybe you're an academic studying academics or something, like there's nuances and all that, but like showing up is definitely the most important part, because when you show up, you can be received. And that's very difficult because some people, they fear to show up because they don't want to be received exactly as they are. But the beauty is on the other side of being received exactly as you are, you feel safe to be received exactly as you are. And yeah, I think that's beautiful. Anyways, I'm just going on a riff upon riffs. I'm scared the mods are hungry for steak. Honestly, I don't even eat steak anymore, and I'm hungry for steak. Like, I haven't eaten steak in like 11 years or 12 years, but I think steak is delicious. And I love cows though. I don't eat cows or steak. I love cows, but I gotta say, there's a few things that I'm like thinking about: chicken wings, steak. Like, those are the two things where I'm like, you know what? Those are good culinary experiences. Not enough to make me desire to kill the animals and eat them, but I can appreciate what they are. Some gangsta. It's called clothes. Damn. Whoa. That's right. Some gangsta. He's feeling like a gangsta, but he's not really. Some no style, some no clothing style perception. I don't know. That's great though. 3 days grace, baby. Yeah, brother. I usually post like Osho or some philosophical quotes, but I was in the middle of a forest or a valley. And I was like, you know what? I don't know what quotes I'm going to post. So then I just instantly was like, I'm just going to post one of the best 3 days grace songs that's ever existed. And, see how that fares. And honestly, so far I can say confidently, oh wow, the frankincense, it caught wind. It got caught on fire. Wow, and it smells so good. Wow. So great. But yeah, 3 days grace, man. That song has genuinely changed my life. Like, never too late, all day long. Evening Mr. Wonka. Evening Oompa Loompa. Welcome to the factory. I don't know. I'm not I'm much too stylish. Or my hat is much too stylish to be to be Mr. Wonka. We love Wonka here. We love chocolate factories. We love spreading joy through cinema and weird hats and chocolate. So, I agree with Mr. Wonka. I agree with Mr. Wonka's life choices. Yeah. I'll post a hat tour video. Please do. Honestly, we as human beings, you and me, Amy, we just gotta spread the love for hats. Like, all of us on this community. This is your sign. This is your sign to bring back hats. That's a huge reason why I'm rocking hats continuously. I rock this everywhere pretty much. And if I'm not rocking it, this is the beauty. It's like when I'm not rocking my hat, I have a hat beneath the hat. But what I do is I have a little thing here. See this? It's a little string. It's like a little piece of fabric. And I can actually just tie my hat. So my hat's just like chilling on me. It's like suddenly the hat, even if I'm not wearing it, it becomes an accessory in itself. Like, hats are legendary. There's so much going on. So yeah, shout out hats. Dishonor Your Cow is a Disney reference from a Mulan movie. Ah, that makes sense. I've never seen Mulan, so it makes a lot of sense. Today's Monday. Today's Monday, friends. Holy shit. It's 3:33 on a Monday. I just realized if the weather keeps up this warmth, it might be a day to go to a beach. Cows are decent people. Bro, cows are so decent. Bro's so lost with the cows. He's over the moon with it. Thanks, Enzel. Never seen Mulan. Honestly, yeah, cows are decent. Bro, horses are decent people. Horses are decent people. So are cows. So, pigs, I don't know. Pigs are great, but I don't know if they're decent people. But horses are decent people. I was drinking raw organic milk for 1.5 years. Huh. Yeah. Many people don't recommend it, but I do it. I miss it for me personally. Interesting. Drinking organic milk. So you miss drinking milk? Huh. That's weird. I don't know. I've never in my life missed drinking milk. I like cashew milk and almond milk, but I don't drink milk. I mean, if you want milk, just do things that absorb calcium and B vitamins. Like, truthfully, and you can drink other sorts of nut milks that taste like milk, and then you get the same vitamins from other things. Yeah. Interesting. Talking about milk. Pasteurized milk. Honestly, milk is great. Honestly, I don't judge people for drinking milk. I just don't drink it. Don't see a reason. From a nutritional perspective, microbiome untrusted the source. Wow. That's the thing, is to wandering. That's great, dog. That you're listening to your health and getting your nutrition, you're getting your nutrients. But you can get the same thing from other stuff. Like, actually, because, I don't drink milk, and I desire to get calcium, and I don't eat cheese. There's a lot of calcium in, almond milk, but also in tofu. I've actually been recently drawn to tofu. For the longest time, I wasn't a fan of tofu because I was kind of under the impression that apparently there was like this weird debate how tofu has estrogen promoting properties. Apparently it's a different type of tofu. It's like processed soy does have that effect, but like organic, like tofu, the little blobs, if it's like from a fresh source, it actually is good. It just has calcium, has other sort of vitamins. So if you get excess calcium and you get B vitamins, you can just get what you get from milk, from other stuff. I drink almond milk. Honestly, I love cashew milk. Hell, there's even pistachio milk. I mean, really, all you're doing is taking nuts and then you're, making it into a watery mixture. But yeah, I love nut milks. Like, it's just great. A shay's the way we grow out of our bad habits. Blessings. Thank you, Xavier. You get it, brother. I mean, in the deepest right, I know you get it, Xavier, because, like, the mind is everything. Like, we hear this, you might read books, and they're like, hey, well, your thoughts are important. Your thoughts are everything, etc., etc. But if you really understand why, like, you really look at the deepest depths of, like, oh, wait a second, my words, like, my beliefs, the words that I charge in my emotions to, that have energy, that influence all my different subtle and non-so-subtle energy bodies, and my psychological and my physiological bodies, yes, like, your words matter. Like, when you believe that, I see things in an optimistic light, I see them with an open-hearted belief system, that is a very strong indicator that you're going to, be on the right path. It's like your words and your beliefs, they really matter. And I feel like, again, you seem like, Xavier, you have a good system of beliefs, brother, so keep it up. We are the medicine. I think I'm dying from inhaling, I don't know, stuff. Like frankincense matter. It's crazy, though. It's only 3:33. Well, in Canada, feels like it's later. Like, deadass, I could just, like, make a decision to just go to a beach. Like, end the stream the next, like, little bit and then go to a beach. And that could be a thing. Like, that's a mind fuck to think about. Like, we're really getting close. We're getting close to the summer. Ocean, I was gonna get goats. Wow. I think that's an amazing decision, truthfully. If you can, take care of goats. I think that's an extraordinary decision to get goats. Like, damn. I would love to have goats. Wow. The release of brilliant bolt of lightning requires the right atmosphere, the right temperature, the right altitude, right humidity, the right electrical potential, and then suddenly, bang, there's a flash of lightning. Our approach to dream yoga in this book has been a similar process. We've gathered the right view, the right meditations, the right attitude, the right motivation, and the right preliminary practices, so that one day the thunderbolt of lucidity will flash within your dreams. This approach is called the gradual path to a sudden awakening. Wow. And as we've seen in Buddhism, the preliminaries are important. They're more important than the main practice. Huh. So for our purposes here, that means that if you just do the preliminaries properly, dream yoga is more apt to just happen. It's just like when you go to sleep under normal conditions. You can't force yourself, you can't will yourself to sleep. The efforts keep you awake. Wow. I'm getting a spam call. No thank you, spam call. You turn off the lights, you lie down, you close your eyes, you make yourself warm and snuggly, and then you wait. If the proper environment is there, assisted by fatigue, of course, sleep just happens. With our dream yoga journey so far, we've been creating the proper environment. And like the transition from effortful to effortless mindfulness, most of the effort comes up front. Huh. Getting to a level where dream yoga just happens requires deep inner work and may be inconvenient. Spiritual practice is often unreasonable and inconvenient. It doesn't always make sense from the ego's perspective. Wow. And doesn't always play into the hands of conventional reason. This is especially true for nighttime practice. Ego just doesn't want to go there. And as we've seen, darkness, or ignorance, is where ego takes ultimate refuge and finds its deepest shelter. Piercing light can be irritating for that which lives in the dark. It requires advanced spiritual techniques to penetrate this darkness, the underground shelter of the ego, and reveal the light. Dream and sleep yoga are therefore advanced bunker busters that the stronghold of ego may not welcome. Wow. I've never read this chapter actually. Page 177, chapter 14. I just skipped ahead a bunch, but you wanted a pregnant goat. Huh. Yeah, goats are just like, man, they're just magical beings. Like, without a shadow of doubt. Always when I see goats, like when I come across goats, usually at like petting zoos or on like farms, it's always like such a magical moment. It's kind of like, when you come across like a ferret or something. Yeah, ferrets are incredible too. I don't know if guys, I've always wanted a ferret. So confusing, many opinions of what's good or bad for us. I heard about a dude on YouTube that talks about which is healthy foods are actually unhealthy. Wow, that sucks. I'm gonna get more water. That sounds like a lot of bullocks. I love this stuff. It's oil of oregano. There we go. Very healthy, but also very intense. How behind am I? Wow, I'm very behind. Holy shit. I'm going to try to update these comments. Wow. I just suck. I'm just so trash at, wow, comments. So you drink almond milk, talking about almond milk. We like milk, drinking about water. Milk. Got time on another channel for talking about God. People don't conversate. I gotta say to Drio Rich, I hate to break it to you, brother, but this is definitely not a Christian, or more, not even Christian, but it's definitely not a Buddhist, or Hindu, or Buddhist, or Buddhism, or Hinduism, or Buddhism, 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 or but religious ideology channel. So, yeah. Hate to be the bearer of bad news, but also I don't really necessarily. I like promoting the ideology of this channel. It's a Duriel Twitch, or yeah, Duriel Twitch, not a God-related channel, and I respect other people for respecting and honoring their boundaries of that channel. Yeah. So the way Amy, it's gonna be affecting. Fortunately, yeah, bang bang. Yeah, I'm trying to stir up chat on water. Yes. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's cool. Honestly, that's the thing is, of course, to real Twitch, you're welcome here, no matter what. If you're honoring the channel, uh, values and core parts, of course. Like we would just be like, hey, like you can't even pretend to talk about your third-party perspectives. But yeah, fact of the matter is, I respect the other channel for honoring their boundaries, and our boundaries are obviously also that way. Hello, welcome Eartha, welcome Eartha. Boy, it's Bon Jovi. Nah, I don't even know. Bon Jovi is an American accent. I'm Bon Jovi. No, that's not American. I don't know. I gotta really think. I gotta really focus to do an accent, or else I just end up making fun of them. Wandering. Kevin, nice. Thank you. Thank you, miss. Thank you. You have a nice look as well. Facing my shadow and wounds would be worse. It's called Shadow Self for a reason. The shadow self is, again, it's not, it's a misconception to see. The shadow self is the parts of ourself that we have not honored, the parts of self that we've suppressed. The shadow self isn't like this part of ourself that should be lying in the shadows or demonized. No, it literally just means the part of ourself that we have not expressed and fully embraced. That's what it means. That's a neutralistic definition. Like again, these are all deep misconceptions. The shadow self isn't like, oh no, we gotta cast it into the shadows and let it be gone. It's like, no. The shadow self is us. We're supposed to embrace it. It's literally like, if you had an arm or a hand and you took your hand and then you placed it into obscurity, like you can't see your hand. You're like, oh, I don't have a hand anymore. Fuck that thing. Like, fuck that hand. The hand still exists. It's still a part of you. Just because you don't embrace, you're like, oh, I'm gonna not embrace that I have a hand or an arm. This doesn't mean that the arm doesn't exist. It doesn't mean that it shouldn't be embraced. And you'd be like, oh, the hand is so useful and it's so beautiful in what it can do. That's what the shadow self is. Like, shadow self isn't like a thing that's like, oh, we gotta demonize it, cast it away, it's bad. It's like, no, it's literally you. You're supposed to embrace it. It's a part of you. It can never not be a part of you, right? So again, in that weird, I really like that metaphor where it's like, this is the shadow self, my hand. And if you don't embrace it, that's your choice. You're like, oh, I don't have a hand, it doesn't exist. It doesn't make it any less real. It doesn't make it not a part of you just because you don't embrace it. But it's still a part of you. It's still you. It still exists. This hand still exists, the shadow self. Yeah. I don't know. I've never used that metaphor, but I love that metaphor. People don't fall into the depth trapped because your mind will never grow. Life goes so quickly. People don't fall into the depth trapped. Yeah, people don't fall. Yeah, strong words, Trundy. Fortunately, I don't think I have any risk, fortunately, to fall into the debt trap. Like, the worst debt I've ever had was student loans. And that basically the weirdest thing, this is part of my relationship with the academic system. I did full-time school for a period, right? I was juggling training martial arts and, working a full-time job to pay for my martial arts fees. And then my parents told me, hey, you should, take out student loans for your full-time semester. And I was like, you know what? Sure, let's try that. I'm an ambitious guy. Let's do that. And then COVID happened. So guess what happened? 3 months before my semester ended, I had zero ability to do my final exams. Immediately, all my classes I had to drop. But guess what? I still had to pay the full-time student loans for that semester, which was like $1,500 or $2,000. And immediately, multiple years later, pandemic ended, COVID, and they're like, oh, we don't care that COVID interrupted your semester. You still owe us multiple grand. So then that's the most of what that's the most that I've ever had in debt. Was because of the dickhead student loan system that happened to just impact me because of COVID, interfered on my semester. But yeah, that's the depths of my debt. On the opposite, I'm actually on the opposite grind. I'm on the quest to accumulate and compound money, not to be in debt. But I appreciate that, Trondi. That's a wise, it's an important thing to think about. Is we live in a very bizarre time where a lot of us think, oh yes, let's get in debt, let's pay off a car loan or get a mortgage or whatever. It's kind of an outdated model, but that's a weird, very malicious trap, unfortunately. If you think about it, he's live streaming. There's no conceptual stretch for him to talk about what makes things grow. I love gardening. Earthy loam is good for you. I'm trying to fix up my backyard. I got much border growing tomatoes. Nice. I've become closer myself. Interesting. Trying to fix up. If you think about it, he's live streaming. There's no conceptual stretch for him to talk about what makes things grow. Aha! I'm trying to like wrap my mind around what you're saying. I'm live streaming. There's no conceptual stretch for him to talk about what makes things grow. Yes, I mean, gardening is a massive metaphor for everything. I actually, in the video that I recorded earlier, I used that exact metaphor. I forget the exact context. I think I was talking about how, what was it? We as society, have an evolutionary currency that is dopamine. And the thing that we forgot in our modern society is how to honor the seeds that we've planted for the trees that we will never see grow. Something like that. I went on a metaphor about planting seeds, about nurturing the seeds. Even if it's like, and what I'm talking about is the ancient, the ancient laws of the universe, right? The ancient philosophies, things like that are aligned with the Tao and the ancient philosophies of the universe. And I remember thinking about this for a long time, a while ago, when I was doing mushrooms. We as humans have forgotten that there's ancient laws with how things grow. And you don't have to look very far to understand this. How long does it take, truthfully, when you plant a seed in the forest for a tree to slowly grow? It takes years and years and years and years, if not hundreds of years, for some of these trees to achieve full growth. That is the process and the progression of nature. That is the sub-perpetually slow, patient process of growth that nature incurs. We are nature. We are aligned with nature. That's the ancient law of growth, right? Of how you plant a seed, you wait X amount of time, you put years and years and years and years of effort to grow something, and then eventually you get the fruits of this massive tree, or maybe the fruit will, release fruit, or the tree will release fruit, or whatever goes on, right? We as human beings, we live in a very bizarre, messed up model. We're immediately thinking, oh, but we got to immediately receive some sort of reward. We think we'll plant the seed and tomorrow we'll wake up and it'll be a massive tree, right? Forgetting that there's an ancient law that we are aligned with, that we are, because we are nature, that we've forgotten. The law of simply patience, of steady, sub-perpetually slow progression. And this isn't very complex. This is delayed gratification in the mind, neurologically. Like, if you plant a tree or plant a seed and you're like waiting and nurturing this tree, you're nurturing it for year after year, nurturing it, and then eventually it grows. You now have this tree. But why do some of us live in this weird, modern, twisted context where we think that, okay, but we got to make this tree grow? Why isn't this tree growing immediately within a day or a couple months, even though this tree takes years to grow? Why do we have this messed up, warped model of progression where we've forgotten what it truly means to be patient? In this modern world, a lot of us were like obsessed or fixated with the idea that we need this immediate gratification. This is instant gratification in the simplest encapsulation. It's like we've forgotten the ancient laws. You plant a seed, you let the seed grow. Nature shows us this. Nature is literally showing this everywhere. You plant a seed, you see the infinite unraveling of everything. It takes years and years and years for it to slowly grow. These are the ancient laws of progression. Why have we pretended like that doesn't exist? Like, many of us, we think, oh, well, we want to learn a guitar. I'm like, damn, I didn't get progress in a couple months. Like, fuck, I suck, or life is crazy. When in reality, it's like, what would happen if you picked up that guitar and you took the ancient law of progression? You're like, you know what? I'm going to spend a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. What's going to happen? Let's just keep on going. 6 years, 7 years. What's going to happen here? It's like we forget that the ancient law of how we are literally built, of what we're connected to, is the ancient law of slow, sub-perpetually slow progression. So yeah, that's what my video was about. It's a good video. Into the unknown makes me think of Frozen. I gotta go. Fair. Fair enough. Be well. Be well, miss. Be well, moon. What if we could go to Mars? What if we could go to Mars? We could all do that if we work together. Yes, but also no. I mean, what if we could go out to Mars? Like, if we were like, all right, our goal is mission human, we're going to Mars. The thing is, like, if we're realistically, like, intuitively, realistically talk about, we're going to go to Mars, we got to do this. This is a mission for humanity. In truth, that's not about us all working together. That's not going to be about that. I mean, sure, if we all had some collective petition and we all did some sort of thing, who knows, maybe. But I think the truth of the matter is, I think from what we can observe in society, the main person among, massive national programs and specialized space programs and people like Elon Musk, pioneering some bizarre mission to try to advance technology, invest billions into Mars projects. It's a very specialized, concentrated effort. Truly, is probably going to be from a place of scarcity and also maybe from a place of a little bit of greed. That's going to translate into like, hey, let's get on Mars, guys. Let's do this. Some of it's going to be again like this has been a lifelong or generational pursuit of like, let's go to Mars. What an amazing thing. Because this planet's going to die one day, unfortunately. Probably, hopefully not. But it's like I don't know if it's like we as a collective be like, all right, let's all work together to go on Mars. I think that's not realizing who actually has control, who's actually putting like conscious control, like Elon Musk and the billionaires that are like, well, Elon Musk, the billionaire. I don't know about the other fucking billionaires, who's just like, hey, let's do something as powerful as go to Mars. I think he's spear driving it a lot, alongside, of course, all the national space programs. But it's a nice thought, though. I recently read an article about the parts of the universe where there's any darkness. Ah, where there is only darkness, like a black dot. What do you think is in that black dot? I'm just gonna get into the sunlight here. So you're saying, wow, only grow potatoes. Wow. Amy, that was a fantastic phrase. Very nice. I'm trying to see how behind I am. Wow, very behind. I think I'm always going to be perpetually a little behind unless I just jump right in. So we're talking about cows and magical hat, isn't it? Yes, brother. So my boysenberries are in pride and joy. That's great. That's so great. Well, I'd love to touch on what Elaster said about the darkness, like a black dot. What do you think in that dot? I'm just going to move ahead a bit quickly, and then I'll answer his question or his thought about that. So I wander over childhood books wandering. There is ice on Mars. Beautiful. Face Tommy, welcome. Amy's the book is nearly as amazing as you are. It is great. That's magical. We need a decent chef mate to make a good steak. Wow. I think about your ambient guitar tunes. Appreciate that. Yeah, no, the ambient guitar tunes, those are, fortunately, rapidly and steadily progressing. I've just been working on a lot of music lately, mainly been trying to focus on creating, like, almost like directed, as I like to say, like directorial, I guess, long format videos that have, original music to it. It's kind of like, it's all woven together. Like, that's the intention of it. It's like I'm creating music with the intention to create an experience. Like, that's kind of what my mind's been at. It's like I'm being very motivated to play music that is aligning with creating an experience. Like playing the music, creating the context. Yeah. Think about the ambient guitar tunes. Steak and chips. What are you doing that, Amy? What happens if you ordered a pizza and let it get cold and travel back? Wow. Those are the questions. I think you just you reheat it in the oven, dog. No, you missed it. The steak was referencing the cow again. Damn. Wow. Frankincense can be insufflated. Wow, I didn't know that. So you're saying you can, yeah, snort frankincense. I don't know if I'd want to do that, truthfully. That's good to know. Can I jam? Bro, hair is a hat. Wow. Just one issue with hats is they stunt hair growth. Yeah. Interesting. Truthfully, my hair growth is like enough. I got like long hair that just grows like crazy. So I don't think I need to worry about hair growth. The Mad Hatter needs some tea. Interesting. Nice. I forgot it was Monday. I have a terrible perception. Me too, dog. That's what I was literally a moment ago. I was like, it is Monday. Like confirming in real time. Just being like, shit, it is Monday. I think he's vegetarian. Magnesium. The Dust Bunny's saying some words. Can anyone help me do content? Huh. Got a lot. Thank you for sharing your perspective, Dust Bunnies. Talking about, yeah. Magnesium helps more with bones and poly. Helps each other. Magnesium, yeah, I'd say be very conscious of magnesium, but it's an amazing compound. Has over 90 different functions in our brain and body. Yeah, I found that very magical. The theme today is sunlight. It's being in the sunlight, just playing a bit of pan flute, yeah. The theme has been animals, particularly those. Yeah, we got definitely cows is the theme of the stream very actively. I'm trying to bring the flow towards the tension on water. Wow. Birds are going to land on his shoulder. Train into the routines. Request water tangents submitted. Wow. Request water tangents. What does this mean? I've heard this concept. Is that a song, I'm assuming? Just water tangents. Huh. Wow. Most of their shadow isn't even evil. It's like laughing loud in public. It's just society suppressing us. It's so true. I'll be perfectly wicked as bold to say that our shadow isn't inherently evil. Like if it is a shadow of you, like you're just like, you know what, I'm a sexual being, and you're just like, but I'm loving that and honoring that, or you're just like, you know what, I am a protective entity that holds, arduous, tenacious beliefs that wants to protect, say, the feminine or protect your family. Who's to say that that feeling of what these energies are, when you honor it, when you love it, when you embrace it, when you don't suppress it? Who's to say these are negative? They're only negative when you suppress them, when you try to control and almost give weight into a manipulation of the actuality of what these things are. It's like the shadow is clearly, it's not suppressing the part that is you. We suppress ourselves so evidently. It's almost like the saddest reality. A lot of us were like, we associate, being like, oh, but wait, you're telling me that this misconception or distortion that I've twisted to a complete, shell of what it is suddenly not the truth? You're telling me this twisted distortion of what I perceive this thing to be, by my definition, is not actually the truth of what this is? And then, it's like, it's just weird. Yeah. I got a scoot. Take care. Be well, Amy. I'm almost at this front of these comments, but I'm gonna answer some of the comments once I get them. What do I think about Toronto? Honestly, not. I don't know. Never been there. I think Toronto's probably chill. I've heard good things. I've also heard it's not awesome, like in comparison directly to Vancouver. There's like apples and oranges, but like and subscribe. Yeah, thank you, Oceanus. Dude, what the hell? Nice. I think he's 15 minutes behind the chat currently, just gauging. I'm actually just about at the front. I'm at the front. I've done some speed reading. Speed reading, yeah. I'm gonna say, it's honestly, what can I say? I spent the first like 20 minutes of the stream just roasting like these randoms that came in. Like literally the first 20 minutes I went on this like tangent, roasting everyone, where I just completely ignored the comment section. Sorry. But I had so much fun doing that. Do you think you've ever been in Ottawa? Interesting. Never been to Ottawa. Never been to Ottawa, friend. That's really cool, though. So during the Marines and a bit further, regarding chef, I was cooking 5 years and still from scratch. Let's do this Texas style. That's awesome, dog. Learning to cook is like, honestly, it increases quality of life so much. I love cooking. It's okay, fave to cook versus eat. I was like wanting a lot of time in the kitchen. Work in the garden. I'm very serious about health. I commend you wandering. Thank you for sharing, brother. Wants to go on a tangent and talk about water. Oh, damn. That's a W. I would love to go on a tangent and talk about water. I would love to go on a tangent and talk about water. Liked your cold plunge video. It was awesome seeing your energy. Thank you, brother. I'm very proud of that video, mainly because it took, it was like a very well-directed video. And low-key, like, you may notice I've spoken this once or twice. My intention recently is I want to blow up on long format YouTube. Like, I just want it to happen. And what I mean by that is I want to go from, 70, 80 views casually to 1,000 views or 1,500 views or 10,000 views. I would love for that to happen. And I'm not in any rush. I understand YouTube. I understand the algorithm. It's a patient process. But the videos that I've been making recently, I'm very proud of. I would be proud to deliver these videos to 10,000 to 100,000 people of an audience. Like, I would be like, you know what? This articulates exactly what I want to articulate. It's visually pleasing. The header, the title is very engaging. The thumbnail is strong. The flow, the pacing, the message, it's all strong. It's just strong. It's quality content. I feel like I really have created valuable, high quality content, and I'm getting better at doing it. So I appreciate that, Kyle's. Yeah, it's great. He's keeping the ideas afloat. Ring the bell. Wandering nice past is delicious. I got you, bruv. I got you, bruv. I've come to this realization. It's very important that we take lion's mane mixed with other mushrooms. Oh, wow. Mixed with, okay, sea moss, spirulina, magnesium glycinate. Okay. Oh, wow. Wow. Nice. Watch the video, very nice, and you will grow. Thank you, brother. Honestly, I've heard this. I feel that within my soul. It's gonna go to good places, friends. Yeah, I can say to Essential, thank you for sharing. I'm gonna say a few things because I've studied nutrition, just casually. Also desire to become a nutritionist. I'm also a trainer. Spent many years becoming my own trainer, really. Yes, but there's a few caveats to what you're saying, Essential. Is, for one, people should do their own research. A lot of what you're saying, some of it's valid, some of it's universally applicable. A lot of what you're recommending is also not universally applicable. That is, people should need to do their own research and not just take a stranger's 2 cents. They should take it with a grain of salt. They should do their own research and see how this individualistically applies to them. Now, I'm sure you have a similar context. But yeah, brother, like, it's important when we're talking about, like, health science. We're like, hey guys, like, take this, do this. This is what's going to help you indefinitely. That's not the way the body works. That's not how health science works. Like, if we're talking about, as you are, lion's mane, very individualistic. You got to understand, like, the dose you're taking. You got to understand the ratio of the, bioactive compounds that are inside of it. You got to understand how it's affecting your neurochemistry. You do not want to just take lion's mane for the sake of taking lion's mane. You got to do a little bit of research, understand how it affects your brain. Spirulina is great. Other mushrooms, medicinal, I agree with. Magnesium glycinate, that's another one. You got to be really conscious of how you're dialing in magnesium. You should not be just taking magnesium glycinate, especially in full doses. I take microdoses every few odd days. You got to really listen to your diet. Magnesium glycinate is not something you just want to just hammer on, take every single day. It will imbalance other systems. It's a very vital thing that you got to be very conscious of. But of course, yeah, K2, D3 or D2, sure. Yeah. Hiking, microneedling, face and scalp. Wow. Okay. Nice. Nice. Sure. B complex. I gotta say, it's I think I get the context you're saying, essential tenacity, and I love it. Like, you're just promoting a lot of healthy practices and activities. I gotta say though, again, this is maybe just the trainer and dietitian perspective in me, a guy that studied this for like 16 years. Everything you're saying is beautiful, and I get what you're saying contextually. Again, from a guy that's been studying these things, makes perfect sense. But for a viewer that's new to any of these things, like completely new, they're like, oh, maybe I should do XYZ. A lot of what you're saying needs to be researched. It needs to be dialed in. It shouldn't just be like, okay, at face value, let's just charge at this blindly. It's like, a lot of your saying, it's like, I mean, obviously, yes. Fish oil, sure. Some water, absolutely, brother. Before sleep, waking up, doing full body exercise, yeah, commendable. Meditate, cardio, beautiful thing. B complex, I don't think people should be taking a B complex every single day. Like, it's another thing is, B vitamins are very individualistic and should be dialed in. B vitamins like B12, yes. B6, sure. B1's pretty safe, but a lot of the other B vitamins, you got to really dial in, like particularly B9 and etc. So I don't know. All I'm saying is like tenacious or essential tenacity, spot on. But also for a lot of what he's saying, do your own research. At least 60% of what he's saying, you gotta really dial in these things. Don't just blindly be like, okay, let's just dive headfirst into all these things. And again, I just say that as a guy that spent many years researching a lot of these different types of things, and offering people advice and be like, oh yeah, like you should definitely take L-tyrosine or L-theanine, or definitely integrate a B vitamin protocol. It's like, no, you should actually really do your own research and really listen to your body. And once you've done your own research, then begin to dial these things and differentiate how it affects you for the positive or the negative. But anyways, yeah. Yeah, you get it. You get it, brother. I'm just saying it for the people, if they're listening, that again aren't like well researched in these categories, because people could be listening and they could be like taking with a grain of salt, not realizing the importance of individualistically dialing in these things. Because I personally, again, I love talking about these things on this channel, is if you are going to learn about health science, it's not necessarily about just doing, of being like, okay, let's stack a supplement protocol and see what happens. It's about listening to the way it's either positive or negative. It's about discerning. Like discerning, is this helping me? Is this calibrating this certain vitamin, dietary change, this amino acid or this omega supplement? Is this truly serving me? If it's yes, then beautiful. If it's not, you gotta really be like critical of understanding how to effectively calibrate these things. I mean, what a lot of you're saying is just universal, but I think if people understand, like if you're talking about like more sensitive compounds, like say adaptogens, like ashwagandha, especially ashwagandha, or like you're talking about like amino acid complexes, or even something like zinc, or like any sort of cholinergic. This actually takes like a very active level of listening and experimentation and learning to listen to what your body is telling you. Anyways, food for thought. Yeah. I think he gets, though. Honestly, I think. Yeah. Very nice. I used to live stream as such and never got far, but it was interesting. Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah. Yeah, I know, to Wandering. I believe there was another homie that was here a while back. I was trying to kind of speed read through these comments, but let's see. Fellow's name, Dust Bunnies. Dust Bunny was making quite a lot of interesting, excuse me, quite a lot of interesting, I would say, monologue or dialogue. I mean, I think live streaming, in the simplest way, I've only been doing it for like 6 months, 6.5 months, I think at most. But I don't know. Like I'm in a weird extreme. Like you may have been attending these streams. You may be new to here. If so, welcome. But I've been streaming like multiple hours a day for like 6 months, basically since I started. I take a few days here and there, but I'm on a grind. Like I'm on a conquest. Or I'm like, all right, I want to grow this YouTube channel so I can receive full-time monetization and get a sponsor. I'm just like I'm on a quest. I don't think what I'm doing is the regular flow of being a streamer of like, all right, you got to stream 4 hours a day. Like, just let's go. That's not the normality. Even for me, I'm not going to be doing this likely. Like, maybe I'll do an hour stream or 2-hour streams every day. But what I'm doing right now is an extreme because I'm grinding. I don't necessarily normally just spend my entire day just streaming for hours a day. But that being said, basically what I'm saying is streaming is like it's an art form in a sense. Growing a YouTube channel is like an extension of this art form that requires like a very potent vision. It requires intention. Like I really believe, I've spoken this once or twice on this channel, is if you're a YouTuber or desire to be a YouTuber or content creator, you're going to realize that if you don't have a genuine rooted intention, that is, you're not aligned with your intention. You're not aware of your intention, which your intention could just be like, you know what? I want to grow a healthy community of like-minded individuals who are inspiring each other and growing and etc. If you don't have like a rooted intention, you're not really aware of it, growing a YouTube channel or being a streamer could actually be destructive, like very destructive actually, very quickly destructive. You could be like showing up every day and you're juggling the chaos of trying to be a streamer and you're not truly rooted within your intention of, what your channel is or who you are, etc., etc. And it could actually be very destructive. And I'll be as apt to say that I think a lot of people fall into this weird trap where, maybe it's being a YouTuber as a whole, like just a YouTuber or Instagram influencer or whatever they want to be, or a streamer. And they're like, you know what, I'm going to be a streamer. And they get caught up in the stigma of, just trying to be the streamer. But they don't realize that it actually requires like a sacred intention, if you will. That is like a powerful intention, a vision of like, what am I going to do in a couple years' time as I'm growing this vision? And, what is your larger, powerful, overseeing aim? That is what you desire to bring to this YouTube sphere. And if you have that to some degree, I recommend, or I guarantee it's going to be a lot easier to learn to integrate your channel or your stream relationship or your relationship with streaming more harmoniously. It's like it really requires a deep level of knowing yourself, knowing your intention, knowing your vision to successfully be a YouTuber or a streamer or whatever you want to be. Because if you don't, you're gonna get uprooted. You're gonna get thrown around by the chaos of land. Oh, I cut off. You're gonna get thrown around by the chaos and uprooted by the chaos of social media land. Like, you don't have boundaries. You don't have an awareness of what it means to ground yourself and honor your body. And for me, you may or may not notice, a lot of this channel revolves around a few very core things. And all of these things are healing, uplifting, empowering, and grounding to me. Like, I could stumble ass backwards on this stream and just start meditating and doing handstand push-ups or playing guitar. All of these things is nourishing for my soul. Talking about these things, sharing these things, it like gives me life. Now, I won't always be doing the same thing, but it's like, I could pop on a stream, and because this is the community vision that I have, I'm trying to create a community where people are devoted musicians. They love exploring open-minded things like metaphysical philosophy and meditative practices and etc., etc. And that's the community, vision that I'm continuing to always crystallize. If it wasn't that way, like if I was just a dude who's like, you know what, I'm gonna be a meme brain rot, I don't know, AI slop critter, not what I would ever do, but someone's like, hey, my vision is I'm gonna be a meme lord, AI slop, I don't know, whatever they do. They're probably gonna self-destruct a million times over again. Like they're gonna be like, damn, my vision of being a meme lord just really didn't come to life. Like, damn. Because they're probably, or reinforcing all the weird broken models that doesn't align with alignment, with harmony, if that makes sense. Anyways, I'm doing the same thing. Words are happening. I'm speaking words. Words are flowing by. Yes. Hobbies not. I agree with the hobbies, brother. I agree with, yeah. You're on the right track, brother. Essential tenacity. Always learn how much to take. Yeah. Ocean food made tough. Interesting. This is a very interesting chosen thought stream you've taken, brother. Yeah. Enter a stream, offer lots of unsolicited advice. That means good advice. This is what I've learned to apply to my life to improve my life. Yeah. Oni's learned about psychology. Huh. I want to be an RDN. I'm just a few years into college, though. Studying business, and I've gotten so much on the nutrition side yet. Bachelor's, master's. Combining them is the sort of goal. Ah. Honestly, brother, good job. I mean, honestly, I say honestly so much. Wow. This is wow. My partner put it the other day, and I was just like laughing my ass off. I'm like, wow, it's true. I'm just preempting everything. Honestly, guys. But that's amazing. That's amazing, bro. I really feel taking the time, even just casually, like if you're just a person, you know what, I'm going to spend a few hours every day researching about amino acids and vitamins and how this connects to your neurochemical, binds and bounds. It's like amazing. It's an amazing investment of time. I really feel this. More people would benefit strongly. B9. Yeah? Yeah. Yes, it can be expensive in Canada. Assessed with nutrition. Wandering. Familiar with the abbreviation RDN. I think it's registered dietitian? No, registered. Oh yeah, it's registered something nutritionist. If I'm not mistaken. Registered dietitian nutritionist. Okay, so it was all of them. Yeah. Yeah, it's like an official nutritionist that's like as a dietitian. This will help you rise through Christ oil. Huh. Whoa. Okay. Oh, you're close. Okay. Huh. Interesting. It's a master's, unfortunately. Interesting path, though. I commend you wandering. I commend you, dog. You're gonna learn some great stuff, I imagine. Play a bit of Aussie. I don't know Aussie, brother. Yeah. I will plug in though and play something. Start my own business though. About 5 years left for my goal. You've been told you look like Heath Ledger. Yes. I've actually used that as a as a driving force of hooking in people on my one YouTube video. I was like, you know what? It's Heath Ledger. Let's embrace it. I'm Heath Ledger. Yeah. My ex studied natural medicine for 9 years, testing on me. Huh. I mean, sure. That seems a little bit bizarre, but not the worst, I'd say, thing. Creative writing. Nice scrims the subject. Interesting. It's a time where we're part of a group where we grow as humans. Pragmatism, positive optimism, celebrate joy. Nice. That's beautiful, brother. I agree with all that. I agree with all that tenacity. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's actually, in essence, what I'm kind of doing here. Literally what I'm inviting. Man, I do this in my real life all the time. I do this with my immediate community in the real world. But of course, this YouTube channel is an extension of how I live and how I community build in the real world. So, yeah, innately, this is also along with that. Yeah. Bro, I don't know. I love jesting and like roasting people in a very, respectful but also just roastful way. It's like, yeah, if a person's like, they're like roasting or projecting some nonsense or like saying some negative projection, that's okay. And so maybe it's like, oh, that's okay, brother. I get it. You're not aligned with the core values of this channel. You're not maybe a devoted musician, free thinker. You gotta, you want to find your AI brain rot slop nonsense. Like that's what you're seeking. Like you're not a member of this community. That's fair, brother. Like carry on. Go scroll on, find your AI slop brain rot nonsense. Like that's the creator you want, of course. Like I love throwing that out there. It's like, I mean, it's kind of true, probably not true. I don't think people really seek that, but honestly, quoted, yeah, dog. I'm just the thing is, it's not. I remember my girlfriend. She was like, Tommy. She's like, so are you saying honestly? Because everything else you say is unhonest, is dishonest, and I'm just like, no. It's just like, it's not even about honesty versus dishonesty. Like it's not even about when I say honestly, it's more so like it's like a bridger. It's a bridger of worlds, I guess, or it's a preempt statement. It's like you say blah 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 blah, but honestly, it's just a leader. It's a header. It like leads into something. It really means nothing. It's like a filler word. It's not about honesty. It's not about dishonesty. Sometimes it does, but you'll never know. It's all just random. I'm also fluent in many languages, so I might do some interpreting. Beautiful. That's cool, man. Studying language, I love English. Like, it might make sense because I talk so much, but I love communication. I love talking, communicating, like in the real world, of course. But this is a YouTube channel where I'm just, Yappersville. Down, I was low, intermediate in Japanese. I would love to learn Japanese. I love the Mickey laugh. My Mickey laugh, yeah. Bro, my laugh is, I have a very jester, clown, like, laugh. That's just my laugh. It's bizarre. But it makes it great. It makes it great when I'm roasting people, because I'm just roasting them and then laughing my ass off, and they're just like, damn. Like, this is a double whammy. He's roasting us and then just dying of laughter. It's great. It makes it very convincing, where they're just like, damn, like, he really doesn't give a fuck. And it's like, yeah. It's a huge money-making industry here in Australia. In respects to, yeah. I see. Uni. I see. Yeah. What a reality, friends. What a reality we live in. Not surprising, the academic histories, they're just cha-ching, like they really want your hard work, hard-earned dollar bills. Even if it takes you 10 years to pay them. They're gonna make sure that they make their money. Yeah. Yeah, but so in response, I'm just gonna kind of backtrack a moment. So Alasser, if he's still here, he was asking me about what was it? So there's discovered pure blackness in the universe. There's a part in the universe that's studied that's just pure blackness, if I'm not mistaken. Interesting. Pure blackness. Part of the universe that's pure blackness. There's no life, no matter, probably beyond the bounds of space and time. Pure blackness. For some reason, all that I come to, I don't know, this is like super random, and I'm just trying to respond to the thing that was like, I remember there was a few comments where I was like, you know what, I'm going to respond to these, but I might just have to forget them. Because if this is the nature of juggling thousands of people, eventually I'm just going to be like, nope, I forget the comments and I'm not going to respond to them. But I think what's interesting to Alasser was speaking of how, yes, there is a part of the universe that is reported scientifically that is just pure blackness. What I would say is there's a discovery, you know, you may be familiar with this discovery, of something called white holes. Theoretically, there's a white hole. There's a black hole and there's a white hole. And the interesting thing about white holes and black holes is they're actually, they have the exact opposite properties. Black hole, they take all life and matter and they absorb it. White holes, they do the opposite. They exhume it of the same matter and life and whatever. So, yeah. I almost feel like, I don't know, I'm not an astrophysicist here, but I think like in nature to what these areas, their total blackness, they may be just a place that is maybe in between where the black hole and the white hole interact, or maybe they're just a place where the black hole has really just like, I don't know, either existed to remove a lot of the matter. I don't know, I'm not an astrophysicist at all, but I think it's interesting. Wandering, I'm fluent in English, honoris, Spanish, and SEL. Nice. Language is great. I really want to learn Japanese, truthfully. I'm actually studying a little bit of Japanese. That is, I'm going on YouTube videos and learning. But Japanese, Spanish, Swedish, French, I think that's all for now. That's what I'd like to learn. May I ask you why you cover your hair so much? Is there a medical reason? Are you comfortable saying why? Oh, yeah, it's simple. I just have long hair. I got long ass hair. I need to get a haircut. Probably do it next week. But yeah, I got super long hair. No medical reason at all. I got lots of hair, and it's more comfortable, and just feels like a stylistic choice to rock this. And then when I'm rocking like that, I've recently discovered that I love hats. So in the near future, the stylistic choice will probably be to rock my hair to about here. Like I'll cut it, it's about down to here. I'll cut it to here, and then rock hats. It's all stylistic choices. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. It's pretty simple. Sorry, emotion, you understand your English, most of that. Hello, remote temporal viewers. Have decades predicted some alien reveal in 2026? Anyone heard about this? Huh. I don't know. I don't know about that, brother. That's an interesting thought that there's a genuine prediction. But I don't think so, dog. I don't know if 2026 will be... Honestly, I think aliens, they've been exposing themselves like very subtly and intelligently for a long time now. You know, alien presence has been present, from my understanding. They probably just do not desire to do a full-on like contact with Earth, like being like, all right, humans, like let's coexist or something. Like they probably are so intelligent that they're observing and learning and interacting with us without having to actually make their presence extremely obvious. Because, you know, yeah. But we'll see. 2026. Here we go. People with long hair are prone to alopecia. Interesting. Nice. Interesting. Well, I'm going to cut it relatively short, but alopecia. I don't know, brother. From what I understand about alopecia or whatever, it's genetic. Like genetic. But I'll look into that. Tenacity. But my genetics, I'm probably going to have long hair. I'm going to have hair, like normal hairlines for a long time. And the fact of the matter is, I'm also a really healthy dude. I eat healthy, I train healthy. Like, I'm the quintessential example of a guy that spends a lot of time honoring his health. So there's a great, not that I really give a shit. Like, if my hair falls out when I'm 50 or 60, I'll rock a bald monk look all day long. Like, I'll rock it like a champ. But the reality is, my hair is probably not gonna lose its hair quality probably until about 50. Like, that's just my genetics. I think genetics is primarily what dictates, and of course, your health. So if you're healthy and you have good genetics, you can be pretty confident that your hair is there to stay. But it's good to know. Good to know about alopecia. I know the ends after scalp massage and micro needling. Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Honestly, bro, like, again, when we're talking about health, like, you can talk about, scalp health, health. The decisions that you make, like, a multitude before, like, the whole conversation about health, right? Whether they're talking about your hair health, your skin health, freaking whatever you want to talk about health, it's more about preventative care. Like, this is the world of thought that exists in every realm of how you experience your health, for the better or for the worse. It's about preventative care. So, I don't know. As a 15-year-old, I literally went on my way to spend a massive, massive array of my energy into learning to basically become an athlete. Train lots of martial arts, ate extremely healthy, as I still do. Basically, what I'm saying is, a lot of the quintessential health issues that you may think is like, okay, but we gotta go and go and, treat it in the moment. Sure, obviously there's things we can do to better our health always. It's a beautiful truth. But most things that we experience on a health scale are basically things that have started on a regressive cycle like 10, 15, if not 20 years before. Like, that's the reality. I mean, obviously there's exceptions. There's debilitating chronic disorders. There's just health issues that are way beyond preventative care. But strangely enough, I really strongly believe this, is preventative care is the strongest factor in how you're experiencing your health. Your health is probably a product of your last 10, 20 years of how you've lived your life. So what I'm simply saying is, as a guy that was like age like 13, 14, 15, like, going out of my way, studying about health and XYZ and doing pretty much every quintessential thing you could imagine that is good for the health, for the psyche, for the brain, for the body, for the mind. And I'm a 31-year-old man, and I've been studying these things for many, many, many years. I'm pretty confident that the 10, 20, 30 years of preventative care to translate into healthy XYZ is actually more impactful. Like, and again, maybe I'm saying that almost from a egoic stance, not to stroke my own ego. But, if you're fortunate enough to understand the role of preventative care, we're talking about muscular preventative care, we're talking about somatic preventative care, brain health preventative care, dietary, physiological preventative care. That is, you're doing the necessary things. We're talking about drinking water, eating a healthy diet. We're talking about training, consistency, movement, mobility. We're talking about cold exposure, somatic practice, all the things that you can do to honor your health. If you're doing that for 10, 20 years prior to, when anything begins to manifest into an issue health-wise, that is the key factor that is going to help you. Of course, again, the key thing is there's always something you can do. Like, if you wake up and you're 40, 50 years old and you know what? I want to make better health decisions. You can do so, and it will make your process of aging and, just your transition into whatever the next generation of life, it's going to make it better from honoring your health. You can always wake up and make better health decisions. But it really, I'm a strong believer, and I almost say this with arduous dismay of, like, a lot of people don't even realize how much they're setting themselves up for failure by not honoring their health sooner. And again, I say this from almost like a trainer, student of the mind and the body perspective, where I look at other people and I'm like, wow, why the fuck are most people not, like, exercising, training, honoring their body, honoring their mind? Like, why are people, like, looking at their health like it's some sort of joke? Not to say this deviates from any of the people here, but, like, it baffles me. I'm like, damn, like, people don't actually realize how much they're setting themselves up for failure by not just doing the vast array of things. Like, the health is not something to play around with. It's like, we should honor our health, to set ourselves up to live, to our 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s in a very healthy and confident and competent way. Like it's almost like, we've basically predicted and premeditated the next 30, 40 years of our life invariably with the decisions that we make many, many, many years before. Anyways, that's just my spiel. But I think it's very important. Like as a guy that's studied to become a movement coach, studied dementia, was going to become a dietitian, and I love everything to do with health and athleticism and etc. Like I train, I'm an athlete. It's like it blows my mind how many people just like they look at their lives and like, whoa, I'm 50 years old and I just started really understanding how important health is. It's like, god damn, like how did you miss the how did you really miss the whole like the last 30 years of your life that was telling you, hey friend, like all you got to do is actually begin to honor your health and it will, really change your life. My sister used to pull her hair a lot. Scalp injury. Wow. A lot of opinions about hair. That's crazy. I mean, it makes sense. Health, your hair health is an extension of your health. Like that's kind of my core point is hair health, skin health, physiological health, muscular health. All these things are capital health. It's all important. It all matters, but it's all relevant. It's like it's all about you treat your health either with a sacred reverence and with the respect and honor that it deserves, or for whatever reason, you do got to learn that at a later time. And it's cheaper to buy expensive health foods, pay the consequences. Yeah, that's a powerful and accurate encapsulation of exactly the way it is. The price you will pay in the long term is far more steep than the price you're paying to just honor your health now. And we're not even talking about you don't have to buy organic food of every given right. You don't have to go out of your way to buy insanely overpriced organic everything all day long. It's not about that necessarily. It's as simple as like, not drinking excess alcohol and smoking nicotine for X amount of years and then never exercising and never honoring your cardiovascular health and abusing caffeine and abusing drugs and then abusing maybe meat consumption and all these shit where you're just a human abusing everything. And you're like, whoa, you're like, how did this happen? How did my health become so bizarre? It's like motherfucker, like you made that happen. Not to say this is a little intangible, fake scenario, but I'm just saying it sucks. People should be conscious of these things. If you had so much trauma during the period since you had last haircut, yeah, that's super valid. Yeah, hair is a part of your. It's like the trauma of your hair. That's definitely I've heard of that. Is it primary reason they are bald or part? That's the primary reason. Interesting. I had long hair for many years, and when I shaved, the feeling was so amazing. That's awesome, Environ. Hey, honestly, I'm looking forward. I've always had this idea in my head. If my hair stays for whatever reason, I'm like a 56-year-old man, and I got nice, long, white hair, I'll feel like a wizard, and I'll be like sick. But I'm also super happy to actually be like, you know what? My younger self had long, full, rich hair, and then bang, now I'm at the phase where I get to rock a nice a monk bald look. Like, hell yeah, brother. Like, it's all just whatever. It's all subjective. If you really embrace what you have as you have it, you won't regret anything for a second. But I don't know. I like the hair I have. Show the easiest two chords to transition between for new guitarists. I mean, I would say if that's simple, brother, A minor. A minor is probably my favorite beginner-friendly chord. And then probably G major. And I think that's a Nirvana song, actually. I think that's about a girl. It's just those two chords. A minor, G major, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't listened to that song in a long time, but A minor. So it's just like you put your second and third finger on the second fret on this second or this third and fourth string. So third and fourth string, second, third finger, and of course your first finger goes on the first fret. Super easy on the second string. So you got your A minor, and then your G major, and then you can go into D major if you want, or A major. But truthfully, A minor, brother, like I have to say, as a guitarist of advanced level or advanced guitarist, to this day, I love A minor. Like, I love A minor. It's a fucking amazing chord. It's an amazing key. Like, you play in A minor, like, it's a great key. It's a great chord. A minor rocks. You know, especially A sharp minor. But, yeah. Shows the easiest chords. Live long, don't die slow. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm in the Marine. In the Marines, it is hygiene, loss of individuality, uniform, getting rid of overly long hair. Yeah, that sounds very Marine-esque. And Marines is not for everybody, but I commend those that honor the fundamental levels of discipline that humans, should have. But yeah, I mean, take all I'm saying with a grain of salt. Like for those listening, if you're just like, wow, this guy's like dumping on people about their health. I mean, maybe not. Maybe you just listen or not. But I think I'm coming at this from a trainer perspective. Like when you hear a trainer, right? If you're your own coach or trainer, and someone's just like telling you, hey, guy, like you should probably look at your health. You should probably like actually honor these things. Like a lot of these things, it for some reason, it does process better, or at least it should, you know, man to man. If you are, you know, a man, if you're a woman, welcome. It's phenomenal. But it's a good to have a masculine perspective on these things. It's like a masculine approach, direct, you know, very like overt, being like, what the fuck? Like, because health is something it's not a joke. Like, health's not like a thing that's like, yeah, we can kind of like, you know, you hear people like randomly speak of how they're just like saying like, oh yeah, I smoked cigarettes and did drugs or whatever until I was 102, and then, but I lived a happy and full life. That is dumb. And like, maybe it's true. I don't even fucking know. Maybe their genetics somehow enable that. Who knows what they went through? Who knows how their life went out? Amazing or not. But when you hear stuff like that, where people are like, yeah, I smoked cigarettes and drank alcohol every day and did drugs and now I'm 100 and whatever and I lived a full life. It's like they're either full of shit, like they're either completely full of shit, that's like in denial, completely insane and full of shit. That, or there are some random 1% or 0.01% of the anomalies somehow that was able to achieve that. And good for them, like actually. But most people, health is like the variable, like genetically, your genetic coding literally is dependent on all the different variables of how you are experiencing your health. Like I remember when I was like 15 years old, I was thinking a lot about genetics, like genetic lineage, like how my genetics will be passed on, how you can change your genetics, all the things you can do to impact your genetics, down to it's something like your thoughts. Your thoughts that you literally think can actually impact your genetic code, or how, I forget the word it was, your genetic, what is it? There's a word for it, but it's basically like you can actually impact your genetics in such exquisite ways, and obviously also in such unexquisite ways. But anyways, all I'm simply saying is one, you know, may be apt to believe that you should be like tenaciously diving at ways to really, if there's a way to honor your health, honor your genetic lineage, to just make healthy decisions in your life, why not make those decisions? Like, why not? And not only just like, why not make them from a neutralistic place? You should be like, let's run at these healthy decisions like our house is on fire. Like, let's actually like engage and tenaciously advocate. Yes, make healthy decisions. You know, actually realize that this is very important. Anyways, food for thought. I'm just blabbing now. Any of you have met entities on Changa? Yeah. Yeah, brother. Have I met entities? I can't say for surefire. I can't say for a surefire means that I've met like an entity that you could identify. Gods, elders, jester character. Yeah. I'd say the closest was when the first time I did Changa, and I went very deep. And that's when I experienced basically ancient Mayan symbols and patterns. Like I saw like a very vivid tapestry of ancient Mayan figures and like archetypes. I didn't know what they meant, but they were very interesting and sort of muted. Like the color palettes are very muted, but that's the closest I could say that I've received to a true like crystal clear visual entity. Definitely somatically. Like that's the thing is on a felt experience level, without a shadow of a doubt. It's never manifested as like a physical visual entity, but there's been like symbolic and somatic representations that I can surely say for certain were present there. And I'll be honest, yeah, the temple is like, I love where your mind's at, brother. I think Changa as a whole, it is a embrace with a divine entity itself. Like it's not even like every single time you sit with Changa, it seems to have like a rare sort of ancient, almost melancholic energy, which is what DMT sort of feels like often when you sit with it in the right way, the integrated way. It's like it makes for me every single time I've ever sat with Changa, especially when it's very intentional, when I give it a lot of sacred reverence, it returns me to this like impossible to describe, but I try to sort of attach melancholy. Melancholy. You see something, you're just like almost brings you to tears. You're just like, how have I forgotten how beautiful and magical this world is? Like that's always the feeling that's overseering. And it feels like saddening. You're just like, I can't believe I've been asleep and removed from this like genuine connection to what this is for so long. Like that's what I feel like Changa often elicits. And I try to identify it again in a one-dimensional way as melancholy. Because when you're melancholic, you're like yearning for something that you once had. You're like, wow, I'm yearning and longing for this feeling that I once knew. And that's what Changa always feels like. It's literally just like I'm like, wow, how have I forgotten? Like that's the overseering narrative. I'm like, how have I actually forgotten this? Whatever this is. This entity, you could say, maybe you could define as divine energy, but it goes deeper because it's not a thing that we could try to put into words. It's like a feeling. It's just simply a feeling. You're like, how have I forgotten this like melancholic feeling? Maybe we could call it love. Maybe you could call it connecting to love or divine. But it feels like sad because you're like, you know what? How have I forgotten? I've not lived or haven't remembered this feeling or been with this feeling for so long. You get a glimpse of it and then you return back to this. And it feels very like very sad, very sobering. It's beautiful, but that's often how I experience it. And I've had blips where I do see like again Mayan like ancient symbology, which is beautiful, but often it's like a feeling that's very indescribable that feels like a presence of something, but it always makes me feel, yeah, like unbelievably like awestricken to be like, how have I actually forgotten? Like all these years, all this time, I've forgotten like this simple, joyful, blissful feeling. It's almost like, I'll be honest, the way I remember recalling it once, it's like on the other side of doing this chong, it almost feels like you remember what it feels like to be, you know, a young child. It's like you're looking back and being like, when you were a young child, everything was so raw and divine and mysterious and spiritual, and then it's like you just get that glimmer. You're like, holy shit! Like I'm a 31-year-old man. I've forgotten for so many years what it felt like to have that level of pureness and innocence. And you go back to it. You're a full-grown adult. You'll go back to that same realm of being like, but here we are, as a human. But it's like I think I remember feeling. It's like you feel that melancholy, being like, wow, I've forgotten this feeling for so many years, if not all the years. And then you realize that you're not going to get to feel that again. And it's interesting. Like it's not, it's even like, I wouldn't even say bittersweet. It's just beautiful. It's changa. Changa is smokable ayahuasca, as they call it. It's it's a pure extract of DMT that's been mixed with an MAOI. So they take like a few different herbs and then they take a very specific percentage that they extract the DMT from and mix it with MAOIs. It's a very different experience for most DMT experiences. Very beautiful though. It's very balanced. It's very warm and harmonious. Like if you think of DMT and DMT just like forces you through some sort of portal or does whatever it does. I've never done freebase DMT. In my experience, Changa is like, I don't know, it's almost like the most organic, gentle unraveling where it's like here we go, but like you are in the seat of like it's almost like it's similar to shrooms. Like it's like christening you into this world of DMT. It's not like it's like throwing you down the rabbit hole and be like, oh, here you go, buddy. It's like you're kind of in this place where it's like slowly unraveling this lotus flower, which is literally in many rights an actual visual of a lotus flower, which you get to see in front of your eyes. It's like here you are, like we're welcoming you and ambassadoring you, or it's like an ambassador into this DMT realm that's not forcing you to jump through it, but it's like it's welcoming you, being like, here you go. I don't know. That was all just I don't know, me poetically romanticizing Changa. Have you heard of Estastone? Yeah, I have heard of Estastone Tenacity. I love Estastone. He's actually one of my purest influences. Yeah. I'm out of tune, aren't I? Wow. Yeah, but Estastone, he's surely one of my greatest influences. Yeah. Wow, it feels like it's been longer than 3 hours and 16 minutes. I mean, that's pretty long as it goes, but I feel like so much has happened these 3 hours. Wow. Bro, I stopped smoking weed the moment I started hearing Estastone. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't smoked weed in 11 years, but I advocate very highly the ability to get high off of dance and off of music, off songwriting. Like, I get very high. Messed up the key there. But off of, yeah, songwriting, improv, but also, of course, dance improvisation. Like, for me, I don't know why. Well, I do know why, many writes. Getting high off of dancing. Like, if you go to, like, a show, and I don't do drugs. Like, I've been sober for 11 years. It's like, when you go to a show and you dance, you can get higher than you would get off, than most people get off of drugs. Like, you really do. You can, like, get high off of dancing and energy, and you meet beautiful human beings in this portal, and you're listening to live music. If you can embrace that, yeah, you'll get higher than drugs will get you. It's a very true truth. Have you heard Bird is the Word? I have heard of that song through Family Guy, yeah. Not a bad song, I could say. I can confidently say it's a good song. And there's shamanic disembodiment, breaking down to strip down what isn't needed to prepare and make space for the new. Yeah. Shamanic disembodiment. I like that. The terminology, that's penetrating, brother. I think, like, even taking away, because shamanic disembodiment, if you will, if you are, like, you know, connecting the context of what shamans, like the true capital S shaman, like the shaman that really desires to embody their practice with deep integrity and ancient connection or lineage, they're obviously requiring a deep level of preparation. Like all shamans, even, you hear of a quintessential shaman and they're doing a ceremony or they're sitting with a medicine, they require a deep level of preparation. The dieta, as it is. The dieta is a deep level of preparation. You know, they're going through engaging in sobriety for excess amount of time with abstinence and energetic abstinence and particular diets and all these things. And that alone, like, I think that really just reflects on the importance, like the nature of how much reverence should be held for these ceremonies. If even if just like a shaman doing medicine or not doing medicine, it's like the level of devotion one can place on attaining a spiritual or elevated context through this kind of shamanic ritual, medicine or not. It's like that alone is commendable. It's like a very important thing that society has surely forgotten about change. The crazy part is tons of people report seeing the same entities, archetypes. Yeah. That doesn't surprise me, strangely enough, Temple. That doesn't surprise me too much. I mean, simply because I really feel like I don't speak of this in the same regard for a lot of things, truthfully. Maybe mushrooms, but I actually think Changa DMT, not freebase DMT, I wouldn't include in this category, is actually such a powerful, natural, sacred experience. It's a sacred dimension that actually everyone should access. Like everyone, Changa should be something that most people, it's a very healthy, natural state. I really feel this. And now, of course, I'm sure many people would argue the same for all DMT or all altered states in some sense. But I don't know, without, every time I've done Changa, it's like I can say without dead certainty, the same truth has flowed through. I'm like, like this is truly healthy. Like this is meant to be experienced by the human experience. That is Changa. Like, it's without a shadow of a doubt. Like, the whole way it unravels, what it does to the mind, the energy, like, it is very healthy for the experience, for the human experience. Now, yeah, how one approaches it, how it's aligned to so many different ways that we can unpackage that. But I've come to this conclusion many times, the 9, 10 times I've done Changa. It's like, it is surely a very healthy, sacred, and organic experience that the human experience should experience. Like, it's like, I couldn't confidently say that about any altered state, but Changa, for some reason, it really does feel like it's like, humans were meant to experience this experience, like, without a shadow of a doubt. I had a challenging childhood. My parents are guardians. I still have nightmares. Many nights I don't want to do that stuff. Meditation is something that help reduce them. Wow. I hear you. I have been in that's what we call Native Mexican saunas in Mexico a few times. They're awesome. I'm sorry to hear about that, about the challenging childhood. I mean, yeah, childhood is insane. I mean, I had a pretty good childhood, but a challenging adolescent to it. Like, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, my adolescenthood was a reflection of my childhood. But yeah, it's important to, have a good relation, with being raised or understanding what it means to, like, be a parent and etc. Woods will dance like the Mayans, east of their surroundings. Interesting. Let's flip on this guitar here. There's been just such interesting... I see. Volume. Been a lot of interesting monologue or dialogue here. Riffing in G sharp minor. Oh, I want to try DMT, and her birthday's coming up. Is there something online I could order a DMT vape or something in the U.S.? I can't say, Mayor, to be honest. I don't know. I don't live in the U.S. I live in Canada. In Canada, there's actually quite a few dispensaries and places where you can purchase DMT, so I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't know. I'm sure you have to do a little bit of research. Hopefully you can find some DMT for her. Dance is my meditation. You'll dance like the Mayans used to dance in the celebration of life and God. But also chakra meditation is powerful. I agree. I know it would be magical, I feel, to engage in a chakra meditation. Like, I know a friend of mine who was really into that. Analytics, baby. Just checking my analytics on my long formats. Sweet. Just look up, but you aren't. What's going on here? So that, blah, blah, blah. What type of mind experience? So Tibet's the part of the problem. I rarely remember my dreams. Part of the problem is, yeah, I rarely remember my dreams. I wake up knowing I had a bad dream. Once I remembered, I told some people about it and it went away. Someone in the Marines had. I wake up knowing I had a bad dream. Yeah. It was a W.W. Birdman about 35 years ago. Huh. I really like past life meditations. Wow. Have you heard of Prem Joshua? Can't say I have. Threatened me. I never told anyone of fear, and I finally did 10 years later. I never had the dream again. It was a crazy guy in the Marines being kicked out of an SSG stop. Wow. Wow, that sounds intense, brother. Saying anything, probably to save himself effort of paperwork. Less image, more practice. Tibets, I don't feel comfortable using something being outside of how would you recommend addressing it? No, it's not saying, it's not talking about chaga, it's changa. It's spelled C-H-A-N-G-A, pronounced changa. For some reason, I've always called it changa, but it's pronounced changa, and it's spelled C-H-A-N-G-A. It's kind of spelled like how we'd assume changa sounds like. But no, it's not chaga, it's changa. One question, set your intention, remember your dreams before you sleep. Yeah, there's a lot. Tibetan's probably right on par. I study lucid dreaming, have for the last like 7-8 months. Reading a lot of Andrew Holosek's literature, practicing on integrating dream checks, reality checks, and basically returning to the core, philosophical truth of this is all a dream. This is all a dream. Acknowledging this is a dream. Using like illusionary form and things to cut through the illusionary nature of this world to return to be lucid in our waking world. So we apply that lucidity to the sleeping world. All stuff you read about in lucid dream literature. So I think in some context, I speak of this actually to many, many people. It sounds like you would benefit strongly, like if you're still experiencing like bad dreams, nightmares. That's actually a common thing for people that become dream specialists or lucid dream specialists or dream yogis, is when you study the dreams and you learn to control these intense dimensions of your dream state and you direct it with like intention, you create a foundation of healthy integrated perspective, you can actually transform the nature of these dreams. It's like a raw materia that can actually just become powerful lucid dreams. Wandering or practicing lucid dreaming to map out your dream world better. Yeah, it's all about like, if you can study your subconscious mind, and if you learn about lucid dreaming, a lot of it points to this, is like, once you study lucid dreaming, there's a lot of powerful practices that are all about learning to become lucid, that is present, but also just lucid, and experience your waking world in a lucid way, and engage in your subconscious mind in a healthy way that then translates into experiencing lucidity in the dream world. Experience lucidity in the dream world, and you have autonomy over the dream world. And then it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. You become more and more lucid, more and more present and conscious, until, next thing you know, your psyche has shifted into deeper lucidity. If that makes sense. It's been made studies about exploring the dream world. It's actually mappable. It's not just a blurry fantasy. There are locations you can revisit. Yeah, it is that depth. It is that a depth. Like, Lion is dead on. Is like, once you really begin to explore the nature of how deep dream practice is, like, it's not just you have more control, autonomy, that is, you can attain autonomy more than you could ever imagine. And a lot of it comes down to just awareness. Like, literally, I'm going to have good dreams. I'm going to remember my dreams. I'm going to have powerful dreams. Like, it's intention. It's not as simple as just saying it. There's like a vast array of practice that has to do with engaging your subconscious mind. But once you set that foundation, and once you start to go on that quest and plant those intentions, it can transform very rapidly. Guess what I'm simply saying is not hopeless. Like I think what a lot of others are saying. We'll do meditation, past life chakra. Try to remember to do dream journals. Magic. 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 Can teleport and fly in astral form. Yeah, I used to fly and teleport a lot in my lucid dreams when I was younger. Meditate, past life chakra, intention, dream, journal, memory. All excellent things to focus, I would say. Wandering Venom, a wise man told me, go fishing on your own. Then you can cause a ceremonial grey cacao paste to dissolve with 100 mils of water and honey red milk. That's wow. Specific, but absolutely wise. Wow. I don't mind melatonin. I'm concerned with lasting natural production. I don't like melatonin. That's valid. I don't know. I like melatonin every once in a while, but that's extremely valid. You want to create melatonin naturally, of course. Planning on making a guided meditation, putting into a trance, passive aggressions. That sounds magic. I like that. That's a beautiful thing to develop, line. I love that for you, brother. Interesting, Tibet. Prem Joshua is the best sitar musicians. Wow. Thank you for sharing, Tenacity. That sounds dope as fuck. Wandering Vets. Replace the pistachio and ceremonial grade cacao paste. Bring lucidity in your dreams. Replace the pistachio with ceremonial grade cacao paste. Ceremonial grade cacao paste. Wow. Interesting. Thank you for sharing, Tibetan. If you learn the master sitar, you can master anything else you want in your life. Yeah. I would say the same applies for guitar. Guitar is, I say that very actively. Guitar is a portal. You learn that, you can literally learn anything. Yeah. If I deprive myself of sleep and then go to sleep lying down my back, it's almost guaranteed to have sleep paralysis and lucid dreams. Wow. Correlation between the two in my experience. Yeah, if you're susceptible to sleep paralysis, that is a portal. Like that is a gateway to enter lucid dreaming. It's very well known. I've never experienced sleep paralysis personally. I've experienced lucid dreams in bouts, but yeah, I think for me, the epiphany within lucid dreaming study has always returned to the same thing, that a lot of the dream yogis or ancient dream yoga practitioners really did believe that lucid dreaming is a natural state that we awaken, that we evoke. It's not something that we have to consciously like do tricks and practice. It's like if you create a philosophical context and a spiritual context among various different contexts, if you naturally develop a mind that is open and is susceptible to lucid dream, that is that just is translates into lucid dreaming, then lucid dreaming is a natural state that awakens. It's not like a thing you like almost like trick your mind or you try to awaken in blips and bursts. It's like if you are creating the foundation that nurtures lucidity, like in the capital context of that, then lucid dreaming is a natural state. That's what the ancient lucid dreamers believed. Like the Buddha, ancient Tibetan yogis, the ancient Spanish Toltec tribes, is that lucid dreaming is a natural state. We all are supposed to achieve this from being in a particular state of being. It's not some sort of wild visionary thing that only some of us can do or not. It's like it should be. Apparently, it's the thing that we unlock from achieving a state of consciousness. I saw in a deep meditation once that we have bodies in different dimensions. When it goes to sleep in the own body, we wake up in another. That's beautiful. So I saw in a deep meditation once that we have bodies in different densities and dimensions. That's yeah, that makes perfect sense. When we go into sleep in one body, you can wake up in another. So if we're like consciously shifting, like okay, we're awake in different dimensions. I've heard some theories about that. That makes sense, yeah. In a context, it makes sense. When we die, we lose a physical body. We still have like 10 other bodies that live. Very nice. Sky Kisses Earth from Prem Joshua. I'll check out Prem Joshua for you, brother. Definitely. Why not? Chakra releasing song. Sky Kisses. Sky Kisses. Sky Kisses Earth. Prem Joshua. Provide to YouTube. Kisses Earth. Wow. It's got a picture of like a Buddha statue and some flutes. Thank you for sharing, brother. Thank you for sharing. Wow. Looks like an interesting human being, Prem Joshua. Magic. I don't know why. That's my new word, baby. Just I can never get enough of just saying magic. I think it's just a sign I gotta go to Australia. Gotta go to Australia. I gotta figure it out. Really just dive into Australian culture. Well, anyways, we're approaching a 3.5 hour mark. It seems. I think what we're gonna do is I actually haven't done my daily cold plunge. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna make some food, do a daily cold plunge, do some sprinting, maybe rest up, go to do some strength training. Yeah, magic. Magic. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Max volume. I appreciate that tenacity. I'm 100%. My computer's got this open. I will not forget to check out this song. I don't always say that. Truthfully. Set intention without much training. Repeat your intention aloud. Yeah. It is that, yeah, it is so. I agree, Tibetan. Not all of us are, myself particularly, is not like apt to just like repeating mantras and intentions and letting that organically internalize. But it is that powerful. It's like your intention, your internal intention and how powerful that is pivotal. That's pivotal to what will translate. So surely if you like set that, yeah. 108, eh? 108. Wonder, yeah, that sounds like, isn't that the same? No, prayer beads I think have. How many beads do prayer malas? 59, I see. Oh, 100. Japa mala, 108. Yeah, so 108, yeah. Sounds about right. The universal number of intention. Ah. Interesting. So I think, yeah, that's the same amount of beads that prayer malas have. I need to get another prayer mala. I love malas. Hope you enjoy my album. Speaking of music. Yeah, brother, I have listened. I liked it. It's very, very nice and floaty. Very free form. I love it. Hope you enjoy that. The universal number. Yeah. Beautiful. I'm gonna keep that window open. I really need to get myself another mala. Like that's just kind of a reminder. I don't know where or how, but I can't wait. I think I need to get a nice like tiger blood mala and do some reflection or meditation on those malas. Well, friends, thank you so much for being here today, for supporting this portal, for showing up for yourself. And yeah, I hope you guys continue to honor your somatic body throughout this day and listen to your visceral felt experience. And yeah, do lucid dream checks if you're on that path. I don't know. That's where my mind went for some reason. But yeah, thank you so much for chiming in. And if you're new to this channel, welcome. Feel free to subscribe to this channel if this resonates, this content. I teach guitar, I do meditative sound journeys, among various things. I create content. I talk about dopamine and teach about the brain and etc. Yeah. Anyways, thank you so much. Greetings and wholesomeness to all. Appreciate you here, being here, Tibetan. Appreciate you, Lion. Yeah, appreciate you guys. And tenacity. Good stuff. Give Prem Joshua a spin too. Yeah, it sounds like a sterling recommendation. Like, dude looks dope as fuck. Yeah. Magic. Thank you so much. Deeply appreciate you guys. Remember to honor yourself and honor each other. Much love. Bless. Ashe.